All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It's a very big week. It's rate cuts on Wednesday. It's going to be a checkpoint, and there's a lot of back and forth with credibility, but you're getting a lot of front runs. So we have an exciting week. You actually got to hear about TikTok and a China deal and what's going on with Madrid. There was a lot of headlines related to some tech stocks and even Nvidia and the other chip makers, but when it's all said and done, I think the real thing driving the animal spirits this week, it's that rate cut, and people playing that game of already moving on. You saw a lot of what happened last week, and now just 2 more days. There's a little bit of data, but not anything crazy, and then we are going to get into all of it. So that being said, we got 1 minute Chatadonia. I am going to be watching Tesla, NVO, Oracle, Intel, VFC, KWeb, Baidu, SLG, SPG, Dexcom, AMT, Ralph Lauren, and TTD. That is on my list here for the morning. We'll see where it leads us, but other than that, I think we're pretty good to go. Ba-da-ba-ba-bop. I'm in a coat. Hey, happy Honda days. I kind of need to go pee, bro. I should. I probably should. All right, well, that being I know we only got 30 seconds. I can't make it. But yeah, I have a couple of these. Again, there's the NVO. They got a lot. There's also a bunch of like obesity stuff this week. And then VFC, they sold off that unit. Spent most of your week reading your Bible, bro. Good, dude. I hope all of you did the little meditation thing on Friday, because I did it, and I don't know. I think you could hear it. I feel a lot. I had a really great weekend. I even got to show it to some people too. I showed it to some friends I haven't seen in a while. So good. Round 1. Fight. Okay, yeah, watch bonds too. Maybe I'll keep the propaganda out the way for a little bit. There's a lot of other material stuff too, or you're gonna hear more on like nuclear headlines and all that. Those ion Qs are 1,000% now, if you remember from Friday. That one just woke. What the fuck is Jamf? Oh, I forgot about this. I was like, what is this? Yeah, bro. I have no idea what that is. Oh, the Baba too. If you have the shitty Babas, I totally forgot about those. So yeah, those still have a bid, and those are going. Roblo puts are moving around a little bit. JDs as well. It sucks. Again, UNH. I like the UNH, but UNH, the headline from yesterday was not as good. They were saying that it's unsuccessful with what they've been doing there. And then I have a good one, but it's going to be a front run. Do you guys want to go for a front run, or should we wait? So I have a play with Catalyst tomorrow, but you could grab it today, or that's going to either fucking wreck us, or it's going to really, really benefit. Here, let me see what I can find. Anarchist. Front run's exciting, but it's a really good way to get washed. See, because when we've been front running the ones last week, we're just doing it with a minute before. Like that Ion Q on Friday, think about it. We just front ran it seconds ahead. That was it. So if you do it for like a day in advance, that's where it could kind of backfire. But I'm down. I'm down to try it. That's the one. Why does it keep doing that? All right. There's a couple. Baba's still going. And then who was the other one? Check NVO as well. So there's a bunch of like obesity things. It's smaller, but there's like a bunch of like obesity like conference. It's like a fake conference. I wouldn't call it a conference, but it's bringing a lot of these companies together. Who's the other one? Oh, okay. This one's gonna be related to a front run. different front run, but related to Pow Pow. From the Powell to the Powell. Microsoft pop. Yeah, and Meta too, and BTU and a couple others are doing pretty good. 0.5% on Russell, and the Nazi, SPY and Dow are a little weaker, but still doing pretty well. And then Amazon's moving up too. None of those are gonna fucking hit. Okay. That was beautiful. Tesla's ripping. A lot of, dude, everybody, even before Elon bought all this stuff, everybody was just talking about Tesla. So I think it kind of aligned very, very well. A lot of people were active on him. Ralph Lauren for the long term, I'd have to see where it's at. Again, they have something coming up here in the next few days, but I haven't looked at their like daily chart. So the beauty is that, like, if you have really been paying attention, you know, you guys could just pull up a 20-year chart on like any stock. So like look at this, Liberace. You know, you fell for the fucking Twitter shit, and I didn't like that, and I want you to pay attention. So even for the long term, like, look at the chart and pull up a 20-year chart. All of you know, you could at least, all of you should be able to figure out the names I will not consider. So, and like I've said several times, if it ever looks like this and it's at the highest price it has ever been, why would I want that? So why would you want that? So maybe at another time. But if you're pulling up charts and they're at the all-time high, I don't think those are like legitimate long-term plays right now. So maybe in the future and all that. But like I'm saying, the sooner some of you guys get this, I think the better for your train of thought, because then you're not going to entertain some of the other stuff that'll confuse you, or you don't have to really walk around with a lack of clarity. You know, it's like, what is a long-term stock? There's a reason why people keep bringing up the UPSs, and, you know, like I said from last week, we talked about, like, Chipotle is a better example. Chipotle is not a stock that's cheap, but it's also not at its all-time high. It's actually 50% down from there. So I really hope you get this sooner rather than later, because it will benefit you. Oh, where's the other one? And then IonQ still walking. Google on the high. Chinese delegation to hold post-trade press conference in Madrid at 1500 GMT. Yeah, NB, bro. We have those old plays. They have a lot of time. They came back up, and then China plays are up too. Open is up 15%. I know, I'm making a lot of money off of it. So I'm still $5 in the money. So are all the other chats. Google. It's crazy, bro. Open dude, they were $1 or two. My goodness. That one. PG going on his steak TV. Oh, and then remember Cortiva from Friday. Watch CTVA. I forgot about that. Those premiums are still holding up too. Yeah, Cortiva. Remember they were going to sell off one of their units at the bell. CNC chill. Ooh, HD kind of selling. Google on the high. Google's just straight up. Not one red candle on Google. There's gold now too. Honeywell and Redwire collaboration on quantum secured communications for defense customers. GoDaddy, Tesla. Let's see. Google's just going straight up, though. So at some point, though, you might just watch everybody. They might flip-flop. Again, on Friday, it would just go in waves in terms of what was leading and not. But today's not a bad day. I'd say Dow is the only one in the red. We'll see in about 30 more minutes where that stacks up. And then, again, we are going to hear now from this China delegation with all that other stuff. ADI, Disney on the high. Low ticker's picking up a little bit more, but hasn't gone too crazy. Oh, that's the other one. Wow. Google, Circle. A Trump idea for semi-annual reporting. I think it's I don't know if they're just trying to get the Fed to talk less, but I think it's a bad idea for stocks, good idea for the Fed. So that's why I think he's probably mentioning it for other reasons, but at face value, I'm not really the biggest fan. I could get it in 20 minutes. There's one that comes out and like I could track it, but it's just not as updated. It's a lot more glitches, but at top of the hour, it's usually fresh. And then it starts tracking. Yeah, but I also too, just for long term, any stock, like this is what's gonna help some of you. And it's just like an easy differentiator. Like you could look at stocks at all-time highs and really consider them, but that's just a waste of time. But anytime you pull out a chart, just pull up a 20-year, look at it, and you should have a little annoying Egyptian voice in your head tell you, like, yeah, that's good or not, and you'll know. PayPal, crypto will soon be directly integrated into P2P payment. Oh, Glue on the high. Glue, they did a deal with Novartis. That was one from the morning. So look, Glue, this is the one. It's popping now. It's already up 50%, but this was one off the AM list. Again, they did like 150 million payment with NVO or something, or NVS. Glue. Jeez. IBIT and Bitcoin SPY at VWAP. So let's see. IRAN, oh, where's Roblo? I keep seeing IRAN every week. IoT, Roblo is breaking out. Again, whatever that Glue thing, they just did again, it's like a royalty payment with a bigger company. So 11 a.m. Eastern, nice. So hour 15. I don't know GMT time. But yeah, So again, most people weren't expecting much from Madrid. We brought it up on the watch list last night, but it was a pleasant surprise this morning with the whole TikTok thing. So we'll see what that leads to. Chegg has filed lawsuit against, or a trade commission against Chegg, failure to provide subscribers a sample mechanism to cancel recurring charges. Oh, a simple mechanism. Damn, Chegg. You guys remember when I was telling you about Chegg after AI in 2023? I think it was right here. So OpenAI killed Chegg. The ChatGPT toast on the high. Boeing, and then SPY's coming down here a little bit. Again, you just had crypto kind of flush for a little bit. Gold and silver was doing pretty decent, actually going straight up. Gold better than silver. Yeah, bro, Intel premiums are rocketing. So that's the thing I noticed today. I didn't think it was worth a comment, but now that it's still kind of holding up, the premiums are doing oddly well today. And then they closed Altera deal. The benefit of Altera is just lowered expenses. So I guess more profitability. Apple on the low. Yeah, Apple's starting to flush down. That's probably why the SPY's looking like that. Tesla too. MB going on your tape of CD. There's a rumor Elon will collab with Intel. He followed Liputan. Oh, no way. We'll see. I mean, again, Intel, like I was saying last week, surprisingly, one of the only benefits, or like one of the best pieces of news, was that Michelle left. I don't think you guys realize, because I think we've all been saying it, bro. If you could change management on Intel, my goodness. So the fact some of them already moved and were willing to leave after that little deal, I mean, that could be a good sign. So I hope. But either way, though, it's still, at this point, the Intel deal, we got it. We know where it's at. I think it was better than normal, but still, it sped up the timeline, but not really not by too much. Why is my screen doubled up at the top today? What does that mean? LBR, well, there's Intel. Watch any of the other ones. Remember SMCI on Friday. And then just keep in mind anything with China. Nvidia's actually down today. Keep up the good work, baby. Hey, man, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. CNC and UNH and Molina. Ooh, they're all getting killed. So again, every insurer right now on the low. Healthcare is getting washed. So very interesting to start off the week. Rate cuts, all that. But one area of value not doing too well. Actually, all the staples did pretty bad. Oh, the live bar is off? Is it? I can't tell. Is that what you're talking about? Is that better? You could see the Russell and Dow twice. I don't know what that means. Duolingo on the low. Record high on Google. Yeah, Intel's still on the high. Duolingo on the low now. Google. You got J&J. Oh, wasn't there something last week with J&J? I forgot. And then IREN. SPY's just literally at open. Now you got Albemarle. I mean, it's only been 15 minutes. A couple names still going. JP Morgan 52-week high. How do you know when credibility comes in? I would watch the watch list. So I answered that question yesterday. It's just a lot of factors. That's why I say that. I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's a mix of economic data as well as like corporate consumer impact or dynamic. Dominion. ARM. Yeah, ARM and then CoreWeave. CoreWeave got a deal in news. Chips have been back and forth. Again, the other day they would like pop and drop, but then today it's like the ones that got the China headline are doing bad. Everybody else plus Intel is doing good. High ticker's still going up. You move right back up after that little flush. I think a lot of that came from Apple. Apple's still down. Meta's on the high. Amazon's up 1%, but into the low. bad. Yeah, Russell. I don't know if mine's tweaking out. Yeah, it's actually up by a quarter. Again, the only problem with Russell is the premium. And like we said, you pretty much want to buy it when you don't want to buy it. Okay, Google is coming down, PayPal as well. And this is what I was saying though too, like just think this week, think about what happened last week, how we got here. You're gonna just be at the same like pace, and we're just gonna kind of meander, melt up. But remember, it's like you're not dealing with a wide variety of new things. It's just the things you're dealing with you're still nowhere near them being concluded. Oh, Equaway, I haven't looked at that. We'll even take a look here at oil too. I know crypto is moving around. Yeah, crypto is just off the low. Equal weight breaking out now a little bit. Yeah, equal weight's leading the SPY. But ironically enough, it's down. Or it's up less. So equal weight's only up by a quarter. SPY's up by 0.4. DBX on the high. Micron, remember Micron too on Friday. MO flushing. So there's a lot of staples already selling, but MO now. Again, that's the part today. MO, healthcare, staples, all bad. Glue, that's the one that did that was the pump one. The one that got the contract. That just sold off 50%. Yeah, real estate stocks, again, since Monday last week, we talked about them. I think MPW is the lowest quality, but there's still a play. That went up 5% on Friday. And then just anything related to real estate. Again, you got rate cuts coming up and the potential for a path forward. And depending on that path, that could impact fixed income real estate tremendously. So yeah, I think I gave you guys a good jump on that, because if you front ran any real estate last week, they did pretty well. I had one I wanted still, the SLGs and all that, but I couldn't get my hands on them, and then they already doubled. Autodesk on the high, NAOV. I mean, I think it's pretty active. You still got gold going up there and a few other names. Meanwhile, just near the high, but then Apple is on the low. Roblo. Yeah, Baba is tweaking out too. Macy's on the high. Is there any news on Palantir? Try to get a headline in there if there is. Otherwise, just track the high ticker. Unless there's a reason why. Hims is on the high now. So again, they had the bad FDA stuff. NVO got the obesity pill today. But then they're coming down. Otherwise, like I told you, you're going to hear there's like some obesity conference going on. It's very small. There's Intel on the high now. I mean, it's been a couple weeks, I feel like. Yeah, dude, we haven't been at 25 Intel since what? Since August? So this will be first time Intel above 25 on the month. If it gets there. Cigna on the low still. Those are all getting washed. All the healthcare, no bueno. Damn, Lyft again, bro. That thing keeps going. City is about to hit 100. Yeah. I mean, at one point, if you were, OG Chad, I used to tell you guys how Citi was like the lagging bank. Do you guys remember that? And I was showing you the chart, how like Citi, when you pull out the chart, it had one of the biggest values. So now I wouldn't buy it. So that's the irony, is that like if you asked me a couple months ago or a year ago on Citi, I would have told you that's one of the best value banks out right now. But now it's done very well. So it's good. It's good for shareholders. Good if you already bought it, but I think bad if you're trying to start a new position. Culture ECB rates. Praise the Lord. Good morning, baby. Alphabet rises 4%, surpassing 3 trillion market cap. Ooh, no. Freddy. Where is Fannie and Freddie? Those are still going up. You got Uber, Microsoft. Uber 52-week high too. Damn. And then Intel. Now you got Kirk. I like Pepsi a lot. I think Pepsi was probably one of the highest quality call-outs we had this year. It doesn't seem that because, I mean, we made way more on Papa John's, surprisingly, but Pepsi's a really quality company. So I think now you just hate making money if you want to buy it now instead of a couple months ago. So, but in general, I think it's a very quality play. One of the big ones we talked about, but I think our window to buy it is already passed. I know, first time on Intel. Again, like I'm saying, in a while. I need to verify it. They're saying that little Elon rumor, but I think just China deal and then how it is all the Altera thing, closing that unit just on paper, a little bit more savings. Triple H working with the House. See, I remember, isn't he a mayor or something? Or was that Kane? Intel again, that's looking nice. Apple. Sound on the high. Alright, nothing crazy though. Chinese delegation hold post-US trade conference. We're waiting on that. Was it Kane? Unity keeps climbing up here too. And then remember what we talked about with China, man. So you have all this news, and we brought it up. Good timing last week. Remember, you're like in the middle of their multi-year breakout right now, if this actually holds. WWW. Zebra, there's Deck as well. All right, man, just see if Intel comes up. Elf, is there a headline? It's moving 2.5. There might be. I'll check right now. Yeah, Elf just popped 2.5%. Insider sales. Yeah, I don't see anything on Elf, but that's moving 2.5 out of nowhere. Check any of the other ones. I mean, last week we had the Ulta stuff. Or they were at some conference. I don't think there's a consumer one. But yeah, Elf 2.5 off of 1 or 2 candles. Ups. We like a UPS. Very good time. And then Sound was on the high. A couple of cyber names too. Yeah, so literally in about an hour, we're going to hear something out of China and America, or they're going to do some like bilateral talk. So we will see, my friends. We will see. GNK, Deck still. Palo Alto's another one now. 2-3 cyber names. WBD2. Yeah, you got the shares too. If you kept that other one that you bought for a penny, that turned into shares below 18. So, or you either sell that or hold it. That's really weird. How you get rid of it? Alright, there you go. That's better. I get it now. Woo! Zero. The conference already happened, so it was like last night, and then pretty much the meeting is gonna happen here at 11. They're just doing the press conference. ADI. Yeah, Elf recovered, but remember at one point Elf was doing really well. So in 2023, when everybody was kind of doing shitty, Elf did really good. And then like right here, if you remember, and then they dropped the ball and now they came back up. But yeah, I mean, from 50 at the low, that was a great one. Am I expecting flat till Wednesday? No, I just think you're right in the middle of credibility front run happening. So I'm not, I think anything, like I said, I feel like it's going to be slow, but last week was slow and we still moved up 100 points. So I would be ready. And I do think every day and week forward from here, it gets really crazy because I think this rate cut, the SCP, everything is leading to, it reminds me of, reminds me of a checkpoint. I think we're going to look back, even if you look back at the last rate cut in September 24, that was a checkpoint. You could go back and you could kind of feel how things changed from there and what it led to. Obviously, it was for different reasons, but now I do think we spent several months all summer kind of chilling, same narrative, a lot of similar movement, and now I do think wherever this path goes forward and how it gets confirmed, you'll go from there. Elf going up, bro, you're ripping. See, so that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm not really expecting anything slow. Because look, you just hit another all-time high, 66.17. So now it's going to go 21, 32, 34-ish. And then if that goes up there with no stopping, we're going to be at 66.50 before you could say it. Then, I don't know, maybe we'll do 6,700 if, the right cards are played. So that's what I'm saying. Some of these days it'll move slow, but then it gets a little bit out of the range. You're already high. It just melts on up. We've been playing this game all year. Ion Q pop. I know, man. Thank you for that. I'm in the money. That Ion Q was disgusting on Friday. So yeah, you're $5 in the money on all those plays. They were less than like a couple cents, or like 30 cents, I think. 30 or 40. Actually, about Yeti, I don't use a Yeti. I think my girl just got one, but I remember we looked at it at one point. I just don't have any experience with it. So I'm doing what I showed all the other guys. So look, at least it's not a fucking hockey stick. I could get behind that. All right, hold on. All right, I sold my last Ion Q about 1,200%. I'll re-dip on it if it comes down, but I'm done. All right. But yeah, so I'd have to look more into it, but at least it's not at the top, which I like. And then you should ask yourself, where does it fit into your portfolio? How much cash do you have? This is a growth play. I wouldn't call it a dividend name. So where does that stack up? And then do you have any other consumer water cooler place? I don't know. I don't know how we describe the industry. JD. All right, Roblo on the high. Amazon's starting to come back up. Again, big tech is on fire. Google's starting to curl up. Meta and Apple kind of slipping a little bit, but take a look. Google's literally turning up. TTD, who's the other one? Oh, Honeywell. You had that little quantum headline earlier. Blackstone agreement to acquire Hilltop Energy in Pennsylvania for $1 billion. Gold pizza. Whoa, pizza at 51? It went to 55, right? Or am I tripping? Yeah, at one point we hit 55, but yeah, pizza's climbing back up. We're sour brown. So still struggling. Kava still struggling. CMG, I really like Chipotle, bro. You know that? I had Chipotle the other day, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, bro, I really do be eating Chipotle. See, I like Chipotle. It's just expensive. You. Again, I like all those plays, but we're in the money on them. Now just a matter of taking profit or not. Roblo, you again. That's part of, again, material plays, nuclear. There's something related to nuclear and energy that should be arriving. OTF. ASML, Europe, and Trump. Selling a put isn't a bad idea. We don't know. So you should calculate it. So it could be a possibility, but if you calculate the risk-free rate, or if you calculate the put premium to the risk-free, and then you don't really get it, I mean, it's actually the dumbest idea ever. No. That's the part. Somebody wrote something on it the other day. Like there is one area where, like, apparently Wall Street, or like at retail and Wall Street, they have written really dumb premium. So like, just remember, if the cash rate is at 4%, so if you would go and like sell a put, it really doesn't make any sense sometimes. So like, here, I'll even show, even if we did a near the money, a $38 call or put, right? That represents $3,800, 100 shares, and then you get back $33. So it's actually not bad in a week by 30. Oh my gosh, I can't type. It's actually going to be high. Oh, what? I guess you get less than 1%? No, am I doing that wrong? Yeah, no, I think it's about less than 1%. You're making $33 on 3,800. You're just under 1%, and then you have to agree to buy it at $38. So 1% in a week isn't that bad, but I don't think you want the 38 risk. That one's a little higher. You could justify it for a week, but you're not really selling a put if it's near the money because you're just agreeing to buy it 50 cents less. So if we did it, I think a real play that I would do would probably be like, where I said I want Chipotle at $20, right? That's a price we've talked about. Yeah, we said $20 or $15. So I can't even do it on these ones. So let's go beginning of the year. There you go. That might work. There's no fucking bid. Yeah. All right, we'll do a 26 at 26. So yeah. So for 3 months, pretty much, right now till January, you get $26 on $2,600 for every 2,600 that you're committing. So you get 1% back. It's pretty much the cash-free rate. So that would work if you really wanted to. No, it's not. That's it. Simple as that. But any premium lower than 1% for 3 months is stupid. Anything 1% for 3 months is equivalent to cash. And then anything better, you just got to make sure if it pays you more interest and a better strike price, then I would do it. But in this case, it is almost exactly the same as holding cash. So like, if you go and you sell covered puts or cash secured puts on Chipotle for the next 3 months at 26, the price I want, I would be getting the same amount of money as if I just kept it in there on cash. What's your scale for a weekly? I just showed you my whole process so that you wouldn't fuck it up. So if you're gonna look at that and try to change it, I can't help you after that. So like I said, I just showed you what I would do. It's not, I wouldn't touch the weekly. I don't even, 3 months is barely, 3 months feels like I'm already sinning, but you don't get as much premium. So why would you, that'd be like going to sell drugs That's like going to a rave to sell drugs, but then you just bring orange juice. It doesn't, you sell the drugs because you're selling premium. So why would you want the least amount of premium to sell? Huh? You get what I'm saying? So most premium sales, I would be doing 1 year minimum. But like I just showed you how I would do it, because my first thought, cash secure puts are dumb if you don't calculate it. So to make a judgment on a cash secured put or a call without calculating it is just foolish in general, because you don't really know the numbers. So that's what I did. I just calculated it in front of you, and it comes to find out it's pretty much the same as a bond or the money market at a certain rate for what I was looking for. And that's what I would do. I would go out for time. I would try to find a reasonable premium, a reasonable strike, see what I'm getting and calculate it, and it has to beat cash. And if it can't beat cash, I just hold my money, because look, I'm getting, if I sold that put, I would get back 1%, but then I made a commitment. So if there was ever a flash crash or anything, I'm committed to that. But then also too, if anything ever happened, I could get the same return, and then I'm free to buy whatever I want with no commitment, no margin, no nothing. And then I'm ready to go. So the more premium, the better, is how I look at it if you're gonna do it. But it's a math game. So if you're making these covered call put decisions without really calculating the math, I think that's truly foolish. But once you calculate it, all it has to do is beat cash. If it beats cash, you're good. You're saying the value of cash inflation. I'm saying this stuff I have been saying for a very long time. The risk-free rate of cash. Right now, money markets pay you 4%. Some give you 4.5 for a different, a couple months ago it was 4.5, maybe a year ago. Now it's like 3.99. It's going to go lower after Wednesday. So that's what I'm saying. The risk-free return on cash alone. You hold cash, put in Fidelity, you're making 4% a year or 1% a quarter. So why would you do an action that gets you the same exact thing as literally taking no risk? That's what I'm saying. In a weird way, it's against your self-interest. It's truly not a rational thing to do. Yeah, it's got to be better than 4%. Better than 4%, you did the numbers, I'm okay with it. Because again, it's just math. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with opinion, and you could get into like what price you want. But once you find the strike and once you find the premium, it really just does boil down to math. And that's why I'm saying it's not too often. Like, look, on Wednesday, they're going to lower rates. So it's going to change. It's not too often that rates are higher, but that's what I'm saying. While they are, be dumb as fuck to commit your money when you could get the same return without a commitment. It's just crazy. So yeah, I hope it does help. Exactly, because I would not take risk to get the same return as no risk. That's why I'm like, come on, we need to talk about this and think it through. I have been for the last couple of years, but people keep asking me this one because I'm just like, you guys got to think about it. It's very irrational. A lot of people have trained themselves to take risk, even if the return is not even worth it, or if it's the same as taking zero risk. So you mean to tell me, just like I showed you, that Chipotle contract I ran this just as an example. This 26 for 1 month, it's the exact same thing as a bond. So if I sold the put and I agreed to buy it at 26, I would make 1%. And it's all good and all, but at the end of the day, it's like that's the same exact return as if I just put it in a money market and did nothing. And then now I would actually have freedom. And I have zero commitment, no margin tied, no nothing. So don't take risk if it doesn't pay you, my friends. That's the general message of that. You'll know how mortgages will get affected. The longer path will be dependent, and like the real big move will be dependent on the SEP and the path forward. But yeah, you'll get something. You'll get some reaction. Bro, Intel still going. Starmer didn't know email content before remarks. Forward World HQ will be upgraded. Boeing now. And then bonds too. Oh no, is that not Boeing? I saw something else. It looked like BA on the high. There's Chewy. And then Ulta. You had Elf. Intel's at 25, quarter. 50. I can't type. DHI and Lennar. Home builders are getting rocked. 3%. Pretty ugly. You sold your Disney and bought Open. So like that's the most pumpiest message. But thank you. I'm $10 in the, or $5 in the money. So you are pumping my position, and I'm up 30% on Disney in the long term. So, but I view that as a pump comment, because for somebody to go into a random chat room, only had one message on the day, and then they're just like, I'm selling a blue chip stock to buy a pump that Josh is up over 1,500% on, and all of his chads are. It doesn't click. So you have to go to another chat room, because we're not new money. We are the old money on Open Door. So it doesn't work with us. You have to go and pump it to the guys who didn't buy. But thank you for working for us. Orla. I don't know why the home builders. Now Rumble. Ooh, what's this? I feel like they're going to tweet something. That has to be a tweet. Rumble's up 5. I'm going to flip it. They don't move them. I actually have had bad luck with Rumble. No, the stream alerts, so we have a temporary fix, but I do think I just personally don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to send out the email. Some people turned off email, so I can't even contact some of you. But pretty much if it's Texas, you either have to go to a new number, or until we relaunch it, you guys might be out of luck. So we'll get you refunded on whatever the month is for September, if that was the case. But you guys are going to have to wait, unfortunately, or write a letter to your governor. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to touch it. Oh, maybe. Broadcom's running up now, too. And then Cicer. On. CRC. Whoa, what's that? A lot of things just popped. CRC, HBI, DLO. High ticker's getting very, very active. SPY's not moving, but I think equal weight and a lot of others are. Yeah, they did say that was in the morning. That's why Oracle got excited off of it. So we'll see. Can it be a voice over IP? I don't. Those usually don't work, but some people have tried it. I'm gonna hear back from them today. So a couple people in Texas already switched, and I put them on. So if they received it today, it works. But if it doesn't, then yeah, it's just a lot of back and forth. And it's a lot of work that unfortunately we're not prepared for. We were in the beginning with all of the forms, but I mean, they've made it extremely complicated. Just Texas, so everywhere else is fine. It's just, that's why I'd rather cut the loss. And like I said, I don't want to deal with all this shit anymore. Is that? It's like CHWR, and then Carvana. Staples are getting a murder. I think it's oil. I'll tell you, there's a lot of plays that just popped here on the high tick. Yeah, oil's at 64 almost, 63.40. goodness. CRC. And then TKO, they did the 1 billion buyback. ETN, EW, damn, Germany? Okay. TXT, again, more energy. High ticker's very active. The SPY's just not moving. And then you got the bonds. Sky T. That was the one where they said they're going to the White House. That was from last week. So yeah, it's moving now. That one just did 5%. Be careful. So you saw a similar headline last week. Those rumbles didn't hit. Oh no, they do. Those trades are going through. They're just hoeing me. And then Joby. Remember, Joby had a lot of headlines on Friday. Procter Gamble on the low. That's another staple just getting washed. Where's J&J? Yeah, PG on the low. J&J. Jack in a Box. So that one went red to green. Again, most food plays, unless it's damn Papa John's, they're down. Pizza. I think the staples, it could be part of the front run, or people, they front ran them a little last week, get a little extra into tech, and then they might go back to it later, but I don't know. I can't tell. That's what it's pretty much the same setup for the last couple of weeks, but now just same thing, just a couple 100 points higher. So that's why it's like, I want to say it's a rotation or not, but it's already, I mean, you're up 10% on most indexes in most industries for a while now. So it's hard to say. It's like they're all broadening out at the same time. That's why people keep bringing up the Russells and the small caps leading into this rate cut. Railroad, I don't know much about railroads, so I do as far as like America history is concerned, but if anything, I like the what's it called, the I like shipping, FedEx, UPS, all of those, but I've not really invested in a railroad. IMF board. IR, Airbnb. Oh, back to 120. Let's see the other ones. Remember, Booking had a call on Friday, but I don't think it really... Yeah, Airbnb is the only one, too. Oh, Gemmy. I forgot. There was the IPO on Friday. Or Thursday, whatever it was. Other freight like GNK? No. So like I'm saying, I mean, you could ask me about all of them, but... I mean, meanwhile, one of the biggest transport names in the world is at like a 7-year low. So I think it's easy. Like I said, I don't do railroads. I don't know much about it. So to answer that, I can't weigh in on it. But I do prefer shipping. And then thankfully, we don't have to overthink it, because one of the best shippers in the world is at a substantial discount. But that's the one I would go for. I'd go for UPS because that's the one I know about. IR. All right. SPY held VWAP. I mean, there's a lot of activity, a lot more on the high, a lot of energy, a lot of infrastructure plays. I mean, the low ticker is kind of random, whether or not it rallied or not, like we're talking about. It's like kind of reverse rotation. Still hard to tell, but generally still holding up. SPY tech is doing very good as well. And then everything is in the green. So welcome to the Power Week. IBM. If they cut dividend, when would they announce it? Probably in between earnings or on their next earnings. DKS on the high, and then Kohl's again. MTN, yeah, I talked about it when it was the time to buy it, so. It was actually Mr. Mosby. He brought up MTN earlier this year, so I liked it at the low 130s. Then it skyrocketed to 170, back down to 140. So you could kind of consider it here, but just like a Target, UPS at this point, if you didn't buy it here, then we're gonna wait for a new price. But then I would not buy it after it bounces. I like their portfolio a lot. I think they've ruined skiing in America, but that's probably why it's a good stock. Jack on the high again, whatever that other one was. Yeah, KKR running. I mean, maybe we'll hear a buyout. Oh. On Walgreens, no, I would just follow the plan and be patient. Like I said, at this point though, you can't do shit. I told you guys prior to sell or not if you didn't want to wait. So at this point, you're just in the process. EL going up. No, I do not think Wendy's can get bought out. I've said that many times. Because when we bought pizza, everybody tried to, other pumpers tried to make it about like Wendy's and Jack in a Box, and like I said, pizza is pizza. But I like Wendy's. I think Wendy's has a lot of debt, and I don't see the same upside. Zillow on the low again. EL Zillow's getting murked right now. So Zillow just had a little pop and drop by $1, and then Estee Lauder rocketing up. Those rumbles failed. I think I'm about to exit it. Yeah, they're still the same price. I'm selling the rumble break even. Yeah, fuck that. That's crazy. So yeah, I got all my money back. That one didn't hit. I don't know what's going on with Zillow. And then Estee Lauder kind of reminds me of Elf from earlier. Still going. Nigeria, August consumer prices rise 20% year over year. For anyone interested. Zegna on the high. JP Morgan gave him overweight today. And then DKS still. A lot of things are starting to ramp up. I mean, you could see it in the SPY. Low ticker is stopping now. You're already up with tech, and then everything else is starting to let it launch a little bit. The analysts switching. Oh, they really did. I'm telling you. I told you guys on Sunday and Monday. By Friday, credibility was like, I think on one metric of like ETFs and spreads was up by like 50% by the end of the week. That's what I'm saying. They're already front running it. I mean, we've done this a lot. I know Wall Street very well, and I know their shadiness. And like I'm telling you, I just didn't want any of you to get left behind because they were going to do that shit. And sure enough, they are. So that's why even this week, every day you're climbing up. The market's moving, but little by little, if they're already willing to change their idea on credibility, they're just waiting for the right events, is kind of how I'm looking at it. Because long story short, If something isn't credible, it's not credible. So the fact that Wall Street is already like, oh, maybe it is credible, that means they're going to end at it is credible. You see what I'm saying? Because if it really wasn't credible, they wouldn't even be acting like this now. They would still be sticking to their guns, and they're not. That's why I'm saying, if you noticed the signs last week over the weekend, you saw it fucking coming. And I'm glad I warned you guys, but now leading into this week, I just be careful, because it's not going to be like Wednesday. It might have fireworks, but it's just really, really going to be like little by little. There's credibility metrics. I just don't agree with them. That's why I don't share them with you, because it's bullshit. It'll only confuse you. But even by their own metrics, it has increased. But the ones you should be looking at are jobs, currencies, consumer, and corporations. It's like I said, it's something that even bond yields, you saw it last week. It was subtle, very, very subtle, and you had to fight against the past. The problem is that all these bond vigilantes and people on Wall Street, I mean, you saw what happened in April, bro. A never-ending stream of propaganda telling you something, you'll get convinced. So a lot of people got convinced on this idea, bonds, inflation, Powell can't do this, and then, yeah, you see what the fuck just happened. All right, you're tweaking out right now. A couple of things just moved. Oracle's on the low. Oh, I thought that would have been a stick. Yeah, but a couple things are flipping. SPY with the first big candle, even bonds. Besant says U.S. will not impose tariffs on Chinese goods for purchasing Russian oil unless European countries do the same. European countries need to do their share to halt the flow of Russian oil. That's good. I think that's bullish. I think it's either showing we're not going to de-escalate or we're not going to escalate, or if we escalate with Russia, he's punting to Europe. And then he says, threat of TikTok shutdown brought Chinese negotiators the framework deal on divestiture interview. Chinese delegation demanded compensation for TikTok sale through tariff export control concessions. Yeah, so Besant's talking now. I don't know if we could listen in. Besant. He's early. This has to be reporters, because the call, he might go on at 11, but I think this is the early readout, and then we're going to hear more. He says TikTok deal reached framework. Oh shit, I think this is it, dude.
It's much better than they were before. However, there's still work to be done there.
Did you talk about Nvidia?
We discussed the poor timing of the Nvidia investigation the day of these talks.
How are the Fed interviews going?
I think we'll wait till we're back on U.S. soil to talk about that. One thing I will say is that that I'm respecting the Fed's quiet period, which they have before every meeting.
I don't know. This might be old. I have no idea.
For me to be here. So no current Fed officials are interviewed during the Fed quiet period.
Any more details about the TikTok deal that you'd like to share with us?
I think we'll wait for it to be confirmed by the leaders.
Can we say we have got another extension with TikTok with Chinese companies? Another extension?
September 17th.
But on that point, we believe we have an agreement. It's just subject to the leader's approval. So if you need to extend it by some period of time just to get it signed, etc., that's one thing. But we're not going to be in the business of having repetitive extensions. We have a deal. If there's some extension needed just to get it signed, etc., that's one thing. But there's just no ongoing extensions.
It would not have been extended without a framework.
Any other international politics issues we have to talk about this time?
We tried. We had a full menu for 2 days of talks.
Thank you very much. Can you summarize the talk with key
Respectful, wide-ranging, in-depth. Any more words from you, Ambassador?
Productive.
Yeah, I think that's just about it for time, guys. We can take one last question if anybody has one.
Do we have a time frame for TikTok? Do we know the next
us any more details? Will it remain under Chinese, or is it going to switch to U.S. ownership? Any more details that you can give us there?
Well, I think the framework is for it to switch to U.S. controlled ownership. But again, I'm not going to get ahead of the leaders' call on Friday. We have a framework. They'll have to confirm the deal.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. If you have any additional questions, please send.
Economic ties with China. What risks do you see in that relationship with Spain?
Well, any kind of agreement that we have with another country, or in this case with the European Commission, we want to make sure that the benefits of that agreement are between the U.S. And the EU and Spain as part of that. So obviously, anytime we have a deal, we want to make sure that other countries aren't used as a jumping off point for, Chinese trade, for example. If we're going to trade with China, which we will, want to have a deal with China. If we're going to have a deal with the EU about EU-US trade, we want it to cover US-EU trade.
Any more details?
Did you also discuss about purchasing Russian oil? So U.S. increasingly China stops purchasing Russian oil.
It was mentioned, but not a centerpiece of the discussion.
Anti-money laundering was on the agenda. Do you anticipate any lowering of the fentanyl tariffs or anything on that matter?
Well, anti-money laundering is different than the importation of precursor drugs. The money laundering is the result of fentanyl sales, and both the People's Republic of China's government and the U.S. government and citizens are hurt by the money laundering. The money laundering cadres are actually the offspring of groups that are evading China's capital controls, and they have now morphed into money laundering for the Mexican drug cartels. So we discussed ways that we could work together, and the Chinese delegation was very keen to work with us. It was an area of extreme agreement.
And what about the fentanyl?
What about the clarification and the clarification?
Sorry?
Well, of course that came up. There was some discussion on where we stand. As you know, right now we have a 90-day pause in effect with respect to U.S. tariffs on China and Chinese severe controls on rare earth minerals. We have been renewing that pause periodically. The current pause is set to expire November 10th. We're certainly open to considering further action there. If the talks continue in a positive direction, the United States is receiving rare earths much better than they were before. However, there's still work to be done there.
Did you talk about Nvidia?
We discussed the poor timing of the Nvidia investigation the day of these talks.
How are the Fed interviews going?
I think we'll wait till we're back on U.S. soil to talk about that. One thing I will say is that that I'm respecting the Fed's quiet period, which they have before every meeting, and so it's convenient for me to be here. So no current Fed officials are interviewed during the Fed quiet period.
Any more details about the TikTok deal?
All right, bro, fuck that. They're replaying it. So yeah, that was it for a little bit. But yeah, that same question was a repeat. But next, U.S.-China talks could result in another 90-day rollover of truths. Would happen before November 10th deadline. Oh, man. That's still a big one this year, bro. I'm telling you, we still don't have a China deal. Which is kind of good because now, like, imagine all this stuff we went through and then if we don't have one by the end of the year, you at least have something to look forward to in 2026. It's kind of what happened with Trump. Remember, Trump got in at 2016. And he didn't really start hitting China till like 2018. So in a weird way, it's tracking and it gives you something to look forward to. It's getting embedded into the market because now it's just like, think about it. Whatever decision you make, that's going to kind of be there. Like it's way far ahead, or it could happen randomly. But yeah, we might go a full year without China. Yeah, it's possible. Like I'm telling you, just Donald Trump came in 2016 the first time, and then he didn't start going full-blown China trade war till like 2018. So even now, I thought we would have got a China deal earlier because China was struggling, if you remember at the beginning of the year. That's why when we bought China and I was telling you about kind of how they, where they're at, it seemed like they were waiting to see what Donald Trump would do so that they could unleash their stimulus. And then both Donald and China They just started walking the ball up court. Even though it was fourth quarter and it seemed like something needed to happen, they just both started slowing down. And now here we are almost wrapping up a full year and we don't have anything. So I do think it's something to look forward to, and I think it's big, pivotal, important for the market. So however long it takes, I think it could take a couple of years or it could be happen in a month. But when it does happen, it's important for the market. And while it's not happening, it's something the market can look forward to. Israeli PM, some with Europe countries halted arms shipments. AEO, VST. Oh, I think a China deal would rip everything. It'd rip a lot, especially Nike. But yeah, I think it'd be good. I mean, if we could get a world where Chinese middle class is active and we're doing good trade with them, that might be great. But at the same time, it's not necessarily necessary, as we've seen in the last couple years. After midterms, it's going to be harder to implement. It could be harder or easier, but yeah. That's why I think even then we have the debt ceiling stuff coming up, and that's why I do think Trump has taken a page out of Biden's book, and they're just trying to hammer everything they can as soon as possible. Because again, you eventually might run into those deadlock red tape problems with Congress. Liata Trip CEG CRC, again, more energy plays. VS energy infrastructure utilities. Good morning, Chattadonia. Happy Monday. Indeed. Let's see the long term. Habibi, I like you guys like the long term, right? You know, because I really do like it, man, and I really want to see more of it, you guys. You know, because even with all the shit, man, I see a lot of people talk shit on the internet about people. That's what we've seen with Charlie Kirk, you know, and may God rest his soul, man. But I would see people like get mad and talk about like the impact. And I think they would wrongfully criticize him, and they would say he didn't really impact people's lives. But that's why I thought about it though, and I'm like, man, that long term is gonna change your life, you guys. So I hope you get it, because whether I'm here, whether I'm gone, or whatever happens, and whatever anybody will say or not say, just you should have something. Do you get what I'm saying? You could say whatever words you want to me. I'm just going to pull this up, and you should too. And I think that's because this is going to change your life. That's why. I hope you realize. So that way, all of these philos, bro, all my discussions, don't let this be for nothing. And don't let it be for something where you don't walk away holding something. You should. You have to. At minimum. At minimum, you should have a lot of money, or more money than you've ever held in your life. It's all relative to what you've gone through. But 10%... several years, what we're doing here, man. Because look, this thing trips me out still. But yeah, another day, man. Yeah, it's crazy how it's already, the year is almost gone. That's it. I mean, we're coming into the final quarter. SPY coming up, Celsius and a few others, couple names on the low ticker. There's a lot of energy on the high ticker, man. Lincoln, EDL, I think that one's even energy. MP now, another materials. Intel. Didn't you just say back to open? What were you talking about? This thing is a stick, bro. I don't think Intel is. There's some rumors. People are bringing up Intel rumors with Elon. There was another one about a chip being made, but I just think you got some government meetings too, and it's been a while, but we'll see. That's the first time it's moved pretty decent in the last 2 weeks, though. It's kind of been chilling. Equal AAI. I need to see the fidelity. Habibi. I love it, dude. It's sad, bro, because you guys realize that the fidelity would be like, I think it would be at like 300K if we didn't buy the house. Oh, dude, I forgot to tell you. Chad, I have good news and bad news. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So here, let's start with this. Here's the law. Remember, we're rebuilding. That's why, too, if you guys got to witness, man, we turned the property or the lawn term into a property this year. I want to encourage you all to do it. Actually do it. And I didn't want you to sit and watch this and think that you shouldn't be buying a house. So we bought a farm. We got a nice little, we got a nice good one there, a good property. But no, it's, this is the small account now, even though it's the big one, but we are rebuilding. No, it's only good news. I had, over the weekend, I had somebody who saw the farm for the first time. It's one of my friends, and they love it. Let me put it this way. They love it so much, they offered me $500,000 more than what I bought it for to take it right now. So I told them no for now, because I said I still want to try some things out. But yeah, I do. I got it. They're very eager. I didn't. Yeah, so I got a really good offer. So I could go right now if I really wanted to. I don't think I told them they're down to work with me on it, because I said you want cows too, right? So we're seeing, but that's why too. I need to make a couple of calls. I still think we're gonna try like a couple of months to see what we could do, but I do have a very good offer now on the table. I didn't want it. I just wanted to show it to them. It was a good friend of mine, and then it's what happens with the property, bro. This is what I was telling you guys. Everybody sees this thing on paper. It looks pretty cool, but once you fucking go there, your life changes. It sounds so dramatic, but that's what happened to me. Hence, I stepped foot on that property. I'm like, okay, sell the fucking long term. The Chad needs to see this. And then every Chad that's seen it, I think, has had a similar reaction. So, but we'll see. I told him no. But that's my first like real big offer, and that's sizable enough where that would prove my point. It's like I was telling some of you. Obviously, you rent it. You buy one of these houses, you either live in it, or you go and you like Airbnb it. You find a way to get money out of it, or you live in it, or you save this long term. You come across a good deal, you fucking buy it, and then you flip it. So in this case, if I flipped it, I would be able to deposit a lot more money back into the long term. That literally I would have doubled up my long term in 2 months. So that's what I was telling you. It's like the long term, when I look at it, if I kept it, it would have been at 300,000 or more. But now I literally, if I really wanted to, the bid right now on the property, I could sell it in net 500,000. So that means when I put the money back to the long term, after this deal, if I actually book the profit, I would be depositing like $750,000 back into that account. And that would be your long term, all from the same steps. There would be taxes. There would definitely be a huge capital gains tax. I'd probably pay 200 grand in taxes alone. So then we'd have to fucking gamble by the end of the year. What? I know. Welcome. But yeah, this is what I was trying to show you guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It sucks though, because now I'm kind of like, I don't want to sell the property. I love that thing. It's my fucking prayer mountain. But yeah, it is, that is the idea. So I hope y'all see it. sell it and buy the stocks back. I mean, we'll see. I want to try other stuff. I already have a plan, and like I knew the property was valuable. Like I'm telling you, I made my money off the buy, but I do want to. I want to hold it for a little. I think that property has way more upside. That's why I bought it, and then we bought it at a really good time. You guys got to realize that was shortly after, like, just real estate was still sticky, especially in that area. It wasn't as active, and people, you know, they weren't feeling as confident. So now we bought that property 2 months before credibility went up on rate cuts. What do you think is going to happen to real estate for a little bit? So it was good timing, good everything. So now it's just a matter of, do you realize it up front, or do we keep pushing and take more on the back end and then use it how we want? But yeah, we'll see. How do you get over a heartbreak? If you wait till Philo, I would love to go over it with you. You know, I don't want to do it now, but it's easy. Just focus on the Lord. People don't like that answer. Sadly, I'm either going to point you to the devil or I'm going to point you to Jesus. So you better make up your mind, because that's what happens in heartbreak, I would say. You're either going to do a lot of destructive things that'll help you get over it, but it might create a new problem, or you take it in and seek the Lord and heal and take care of yourself, and you'll be fine too. Either way, it's fine. I promise you. I promise you. I've never had my heart broken and regretted it, to put it another way. You know, I felt bad during the time and during the moment, but every time I look back, I praise the Lord. So what's meant to be is meant to be. I wouldn't, you're going to be fine no matter what. See that? It is, but like, you don't see it in the moment, believe me. You know, you hear a phrase like that and you have feelings. You have real feelings probably right now that are just terrible. So it's not easy. But like I'm saying, you do have to understand, like, the real, I think, objective truth is that wherever the door it's leading to, every failure, every problem has an equivalent seed of success. It's just like, bro, if someone already treated you a certain way, your heart's broken, you already know. So just focus on that. Keep the farm and then hit up your friend to buy it. Well, ideally, what I want to try to do is set up a JV. So they're gonna, they had to leave. So it was random. They're usually in either New York or like Europe, and then they were I didn't even know they were in for the weekend, and then we got dinner, and then I forgot to tell them about the farm. Like, I know you guys think I tell everybody everything, but like, I do like assume people see my YouTube. So like, yeah, and I started talking about the farm, and they were like, what? And then I started showing them all the pictures, and they're like, bullshit. And I'm like, come here, I'll show you. And then we went, and then, yeah, that's it. It was a wrap. But ideally, I told them, I said, they know all my plans, and they're a Chad. But I just said how I need to, I want to try these things. There's just too much. And ideally, I would want a JV. I would want a joint venture, or he buys the property from me, and then I put in the manager, and I put in the animal shit that we wanted to try, or I split the units. He pays me the property, I take some of the profit, I go and get the units split, and then I just get a free couple parcels out of it. And then because I don't want to let go of it. This is the talk I had with the guys when they went to the farm, where like, obviously, like, it cost a lot of money. I already spent a lot of money. I'm a businessman. We're not just gonna lose money on it and let it sit there. So it's either it generates income, and there's many ways to, or we're gonna flip it. But I was like, when you set foot on that property, I have to try. There's a lot of things where it would suck to not try. So I definitely want to, because there is that much potential. But I think everybody does when they see this thing. Adabe. I forgot about Adabe last week. They hit the earnings. So that's one I'm surprised. It should have moved more on earnings. It doesn't even look like they had earnings, but remember, they're at a pretty key level. Sell it and buy a multifamily. So what's the problem? So some of you like the offer, right? And some of you guys are like, sell it, go do this. Okay, so there's one problem. And let's say I said yes to him, right? And I take the money, closes in 7 days, and I get all my money back. And now I have $750,000 returned to me. Now what am I gonna do? What's the problem? It would have a real tax liability. So, ironically, you guys are actually right this time. Every time when it's useless, you guys are like, taxes! So this time, you're right. You're 100% correct. Taxes are going to be massive. Qubits. I don't know if it's related, and Amazon, too. Well, it's what we were just talking about earlier. This is a problem, you guys. You have to think about it. If I go and I sell this property now and I take all of this money, yeah, the money is enticing. That's a lot of cash, instant profit, right? But dude, I won't have anything to buy again. Think about it. All the stocks are higher. I could go and rebuy certain things, but yeah, but think about it. It's the same exact thing I told you now in reverse. We should know what we're buying. Amazon's ripping. So yeah, I already had that one up there. You had a couple of other things moving. I saw Qubits, JP Morgan to trim China. But yeah, little dollar and a half pop there on Amazon. Pretty big. Okay, Amazon still, and Microsoft now. I'd even watch some of the quantum ones. They moved at the same time, and nuclear, but yeah. No. See, so in theory, I think you guys get it. This is what I'm trying to warn you against. I did it even when I bought the property. You saw how long I waited till I sold because I wanted to make sure it's good. I don't want money not working. Because even then, you don't see the money when I bought the farm, but it was working. It was in a property at a perfect time. You get what I'm saying? It's always working. But if I sell that property now, I could put it back into stocks. I'll buy some of them. But you got to also think about it. Unless I have a clear-cut plan on what I am going to do with that profit, why the fuck would I sell? That's what I want you guys to all learn. You do not sell anything until you know what you are buying instantly with zero doubt. Because I don't want to get trapped. Last time I got trapped, I ended up not buying the Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to get trapped. Last time I sold the property and I let the cash sit there, I ended up buying other stuff. I bought more houses, which was good, but I could have went directly right back into it. So until I'm fully certain and positive on it and know exactly what I'm going to do with that property, I don't want to move it. So same goes for all of you. You don't want to be stuck. Yeah, the money is enticing. 700 grand is a lot, but if I'm not with 700 grand with no plan is going to disappear. Let's be real. That's just reality. I don't care if it's $7 or 700,000. If there's zero plan for it and you sell, you get this money and you don't know where to put the money to work, and it's going to be, remember the bridge. We always need those bridges completed. And if they're not, then that money is just going to die. It's just going to sit there and do nothing, or your desires and emotions or somebody will give you a fucking idea one day. So that's why the offer surprised me this weekend, but I'm just frankly not ready. I'm ready to monetize the property in other ways, but yeah, it's just, I don't have a plan. My plan is either I'm looking for another property already because I wanted to do another example with a smaller one for you. So yeah, but I love it. I hope you guys are learning, man. The way this is all playing out, I really hope it inspires you, and I really hope you guys take motion, take movement, get involved, get the long term, get your saving, look for the houses. And like I'm telling you, man, you play your cards right, you be wise, you're diligent, you have assistance here, you're gonna make some money. And again, like I'm talking about, stocks is good money on paper, and it does it, that long-term worked for us, paid for the deposit or the down payment, we didn't have to do as much. And now you're seeing this, how you could pull out big money. This is what I was trying to tell you, how you go from minimum wage to 30K, that first flip, that's gonna get us in 6 figures. Give it another 5 years, that's going to get you to $1 million. And then meanwhile, you're acquiring and holding these trophies all along the way. So I'd love to see it, baby, but we'll see, man. We'll see. So yeah, and then I know I'm going to call Mitch and Derek. Last week got a little fucked up, but I got both of your emails. So the farm is not being sold. I'm still going to call you two, as you two will be the ones kind of helping me in the meantime. So I will today or tomorrow. It's been fucked. It does. It takes a lot of planning and faith. And remember, the highest form of faith is planning. And that's the long term is. It's just a lot of planning. It's super simple. It's super easy. But like you're seeing here, just as people are like, should I buy stocks that are 100% more than last year? No, you should not. Right? You got to find simple rules to follow. And you just got to stay consistent with it. Again, I'm shocked. Like my cult sister, that's another great example. I can't even believe it, bro. She's don't even get me started. Let me put it this way. Dog, are you guys ready? Mama Answers is ready to ban cult sister over the Charlie Kirk thing, based on cult sister's reaction. I said, no way. I said, what? Oh, dude, you have no idea. I was like, what? I said, what? Yeah, but my sister's a little cuckoo, bro. I don't know. I honestly think, dog, for real, bro. She would have already sold this thing, and God knows where she would be at with it. I don't even know, but yeah. This is like the worst example I have for you, and it still worked, okay? So all I'm saying is this is a down payment, and yeah, I really, it's just little by little. Even she fucked it up so many ways, but just by the basic plan I provided her and keeping it limited so she couldn't make bad decisions, that's how you turn a couple grand into a down payment. That's how $200 a month without ever raising it can become something that can make moves. So yeah, bro, it's crazy. Docu achieves FedRAMP moderate authorization. Okay. Bonds and bro, I was telling you guys you guys don't think that's weird? From the watch list, and I'm like, dude, Wall Street is flipping it on your head and nobody fucking realizes it. So yeah, that's why this already is a little bit of, that's credibility. This is the easiest credibility gauge changing right before your eyes. It's not as easy to read because it's just a bond, 10-year, and there's a lot more involved, but you get what I'm saying? If something isn't credible, you wouldn't make it more credible, if that makes any sense. It's literally like, what's it called? Yeah, KHC is dumping. Great call. I mean, can I give you guys a very like crude example, please? I'll give you an analogy. Some of you may not appreciate it. It is sexual and it is kind of bad, but it really it reminds me of Wall Street and the bonds. But it's like when a girl acts really bougie, but you know that she's still gonna go home with you. That's how Wall Street's behaving. Because it doesn't make sense. If you're saying you don't want to talk to me, why are you still talking to me? Are you following? That's what I'm trying to, just simple logic. Just go look at the bonds. They're telling me it's not credible. They've been saying it for 10 months, a year. Willing to put billions of dollars on it. And then all of a sudden, little by little, you're like, well, they're not credible, but, right, you just keep telling me you're not, but you're hanging out with me. You went to the dinner. You're doing everything. You're acting bougie, but we know what's coming next. So yeah, same thing on Wall Street. That's what I'm telling you. The credibility wouldn't budge if it really wasn't credible. So they just waited till the last minute. Now they're going to flip it on your head, and then they're going to either get the final touches of credibility. It's going to happen the days right before or like the days and weeks right after. That'll be the final touches of credibility. And then before you know it, now they're like, well, maybe we can cut rates because the economy. And then there you have it. But again, the key, I wanted you to know in advance, because the times I wasn't as vocal about these things, I think it would confuse some of you. And then you would look at the bonds and be like, what the fuck? So I wanted you to see it in advance, so then that way when we get to Wednesday, you're going to be more prepared. I don't want you guys behind. Listen, I want you ahead. It's easy to make mistakes when you're ahead, but at least you get an edge when you're ahead. You see what I'm saying? Even if you're ahead, you could still fuck up. You could still be a victim of the front run, all of that. But I want you all to have that little edge. The edge isn't enough to make you a winner, but it's an edge, and you need to use it. And that's what I'm saying. Don't be behind. I'd rather have you be ahead. You could still make mistakes being ahead, but it's different than the same mistakes of being behind. Pfizer. Kraft is still dying. Only 1%. Pfizer is too. It could be some of the, what's it called? Some of these weight loss stuff. Oh, and then you said something legal about Vanny. Sorry, I was on another rant. NVO sympathy. No, they're for animals. I like it. I still have those shares. They're clapped, but I still think they have potential. It's animal. It's an animal and distribution method. If it works for animals, it's bullish on Vanny. But then if the delivery system can be transferred to humans, then it becomes a lot of money. The bonds will, once we get back to credibility, you're right. The bonds will start moving normal when you don't have to fight the vigilantes. And then once they start aligning with the narrative, bonds should for a little bit move like they used to. China, Li Zhengang, US-China had candid in-depth talks. Officials speak about Trump UK trip. Yang. Withdrawing work, you contact them and then they charge you there's like some sort of like fee or like loan. It all depends on how you have it structured, but for a Roth it's different than a 401k. You just have to make sure, I think it's earmarked, but talk with your tax and brokerage advisor. They should be able to give you guidance on that. Take two. Meta pop and Netflix. Meta $2 pop. Okay. CCJ, MB, uranium, Ura, IRM. It's funny, the high-low ticker is like balanced out. You have the same like energy stuff moving, a little bit of gold, but now you're coming down here, so it's probably going to be Apple, Microsoft, Meta. NVO's dropping too. Remember, you just saw Pfizer and a couple of other biotechs. NVO even had good news this morning. From Amsterdam. Nice. My friend was just there, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, dude, I always wanted to go to Amsterdam when I was younger, because, like, I lived before pot was legalized, and then we were little potheads, so we were like, oh, Amsterdam, space cake. I was in high school, and that was always a dream of mine to go to Amsterdam, but then I never went, and then I grew up. Okay, but yeah, my boy was there literally a couple days ago. He FaceTimed me, and I was tripping out, bro. Super cool place. Paris. That's very cow. Yeah, dude, he showed me. It looked like a blast. He was like, dude, it was like 1 a.m. or like 12 a.m. local time there, and like, dude, he was just walking around the city, and it seemed so chill. I can't explain it. It just didn't have like a downtown San Diego vibe, or like, it just didn't. I was like, wow, that looks nice. And then he was just pulling in, and then he grabbed like a shawarma thing, bro, and I was just, it was very trippy. It seemed so chill. Your boss is watching the cow event. Yeah, they do something with cows. They have like a cow parade. Oh, GME on the high, and Chewy again. Meta bonds are coming up, and then SPY coming down. It's just a weird CP kind of getting a bigger candle. It's a weird Mag 7 effect here. Actually, let me get you a checkup. See what we're working with. China supports firms to carry out business negotiations, says Lee. Dow Jones 50-50, 15 green, 15 red. Nasdaq 60 in the green, 40 in the red. And then S&P 500 279, 280 in the green, 220 in the red. Does AMC still own the gold mine? I don't know. He probably could have made money if he wasn't scamming, but then again, I don't know. Oh, you been to Amsterdam, bro? That's hype. At 19. I feel like when you're younger, that's like the goal. If you were like a young little pothead at one point, you were like, I want to go to Amsterdam. Because, dude, I really wanted to go. Spot. All right, you got to pop. Again, you are getting China talks. Remember, that was supposed to start at 11. I don't think we have it live, but I'm getting in the comments. VIX. Will not sacrifice interest of firms in order to reach a deal. That's why I think that's why we're moving right now. I think it's off these China comments. That's the only thing happening right now. China sets reach framework deal on TikTok. Pay on the low. SPY coming up. Just watch Oracle and then watch anything related to oil and bonds. Remember, scope of the China deal will impact oil, believe it or not. So that's what I'm saying. We could look for stuff. Other than that, I think you're getting some movement here. Still super early, you guys. It's 8:13. We got 15 minutes till Euro close. But if anything, you have this China headlines coming out now. HR. Okay. Snap pins isn't dying. They're a weird one. I forgot Zuckerberg wanted to buy Pinterest before Snapchat. But the companies make money. I think we're just at the stage of like Some of them either need to completely fail, or they're just gonna hold these like floors, more or less. They hyped you up from being from Cali. Everywhere, bro. Everybody. Cali is. You go anywhere and they're like, you from California? Wow. I didn't realize till I left. Right when I went to Arizona for college, I had all these girls from like fucking Ohio. They're like, you're from California? And I'm like, yeah. That's why I said, bro, I didn't realize it. That's something you'll learn. You guys are. You don't realize. Oh, Bidunius. Hot dog. Yeah, all the China names actually slipped. So while homeboy's talking. Nikes. So watch if Nike starts moving. Someone asked me about that earlier. Yeah, even if you're from Barstow, they think you lived in Hollywood. You're like, what's up, girl? I live in Barstow. You ain't never seen Barstow? Yeah, it's like probably the nicest place in Cali. I own 10 houses in Barstow. You have 10 houses? Yeah, all in Barstow. Yeah, super close to Vegas, too. You know, local airport's like 4 hours away. It's dope. What? SYM Arklow. I mean, I like the little gas station in Barstow. Boeing popping. Boeing. About $1, $2.16 to $2.17, just under it right now. It started to move. Is that BLV? I was like, no fucking way. Healthcare came up. Okay, Am Dizzle now too. All right, a lot of things randomly. You got Boeing popping into the high, Am Dizzle popping into the high. I think we got an old Boeing from last week. I had a free one. I don't know if it's a call or it's a put. Yeah, you guys know we have a free Boeing put. It's worth $10 still, but those are the ones they hit last week. I don't think I'm gonna. I haven't hit as good today. My front run plays, they went up a little bit, but then chilled. The Rumble didn't hit. I cashed out the Ion Q. And like my front run plays, one of them is up. Yeah, you could take small from the front runs, but not as much. No, some of them even flipped. Yeah, I think the front run's better the day of. We'll find out by the end of today, but so far, I think day of. Ethereum on the low. Texas. I love Texas. The people are really nice in Texas, depending on where you're at. But they're like, that was when I first went to Texas, it was really surprising how like everybody is just like, they're so willing to talk to you. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Oh, there he is. Well, Boeing goes up $1. You had a beautiful weekend. And now, Bradley Frizzle in the Peach, ladies and gentlemen. Peach Nation, I know you got a long term. I don't know why you're sitting down, though. Hold on. Let's go. Oh, yes. Chadadonia. Bradley Frizzle. My brother, how are you? How was your weekend, man? Stand up. I literally stood up. I'm sorry. Stand up. When I Bradley Frizzle, you Bradley Frizzle. Just like that. When I Bradley Frizzle, you Bradley Frizzle. Just like that. Hey, Bradley Frizzle. Peach that shit. Hey. No, okay. I just get really excited. Woo! Yeah, man, it was a good weekend. I needed it. I needed it, bro. You got your Tinder date on this YouTube channel. She's a creator manager. What the fuck does that mean, sir? So you got a date from the chat, or your date works at YouTube? Well, either way, congratulations. Just remember, you guys, like, I don't think this applies to you but for me, because I'm an ugly individual. But just make sure, like, if she start asking you hella questions and you work for the government, just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just don't, just don't. You're gonna be on the one little, what's it called? Where the guy he meets them on Tinder and they work at the government, and then he's like, did Donald Trump like Powell? And then they like expose shit, and then he records them. What's his name? Yeah. What's that called? Viventus? What was that guy? Project Veritas. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they always just get the horniest mother effers to spill state secrets because they got one date this week. It's crazy. It's always just super horny shit too. Because I'm like, how? I'm like, why are you answering all of these questions? No, bro, you've never seen them? I think it's like humorous, because it's like sad when people reveal info and you're like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Oh my gosh, they really are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously the information isn't good, but I think it's hilarious. They literally, bro, he's like, they'll get like one date, and then the girl will be like, can you explain to me in perfect MLA formatting what you do? Oh, no way. And like, it's such an obvious, like, I'm like, man, this guy is just, sometimes it's dudes too with other dudes. They don't even, like I said, they just horny. So here it is. VIX 15. It's up today, but I think it's just simply the run up. So unless VIX goes above like 20, it doesn't matter lately. Because remember, VIX is really, really low. It's actually mind blowing. We had a higher base in like June at like 17, 16. So there's zero volatility in my opinion, but that gauge kind of shows it too. But VIX is on the high, Boeing's coming down, but Bradley will always remain. Yeah, Nvidia's going up. Remember, they weren't. So see, Intel and some of the other ones, AMD started launching, but you're kind of getting a little flip-flop. Whatever was doing bad, kind of catching a bid. Some of the names that were good are selling off a little. You're near the first high of the morning. So this was like when you had your little rally there within the first 30 minutes. The race, you did top 20%, 13 hours, but thinking and enacting the Friday philo. Let's go. Horn up. Bro, that's so dope. You have no idea, man. And way to push yourself. You have no idea, bro. That's it. Mentally, physically, all of it. I love it. I love it. And afterwards, too, man, I hope after, so you make a big accomplishment and you do that, make sure you guys reward yourself. That doesn't mean spend money. It doesn't mean like be dumb, but relax too and give yourself that time and take care of yourself and make sure, because I notice a lot in this generation is a lot of people are really hard on each other and they're really hard on themselves. But then you gotta appreciate your wins, man, and appreciate the good things. And that'll so if you're hard on yourself, I hope you're good on yourself too when the moment deserves it. Switch gears. Okay, you're coming down. It's ironically, China led the way as Homeboy was doing it. For China urges to remove restrictions ASAP. China urges U.S. to remove restrictions ASAP. China supports firms overseas. Yeah, it's still the same headlines. But like I'm saying, like China dumped earlier, then we just kind of had a couple of tech come down, and then here we are. But it wasn't that bad with tech, to be honest. Now MP. Whoa, MP really dying. So any of the other, remember those nuclear, if Oklo and like CCJ start coming down, I think today will change a lot. But for now, there's a lot of space there. Dig. A lab on the high. Look at the low taker. Low taker went from not moving at all to now like 75% active, 30 second, 1 minute, 5 minute. Okay, back to VWAP. Bonds ran too. This feels like last Monday or 2 Mondays ago. Because I remember when bonds, as long as the bonds stay in their own little range, I wouldn't care too much. Even just like I was telling you guys last week though, remember, I'm like, bro, listen, even if we drop 100 fucking points, you're gonna be back at where you'll be at like the middle of the week. Dude, 100 points, you're back to Thursday. Do you understand me? Do you understand what I'm telling you? We go back to Wednesday. That's why I'm like, so focus on the bonds. Focus on what's actually changing. But I wouldn't really be worried about equity prices. So like I'm saying here, it is getting to that point. I remember that Monday, we did something very similar. I think market was kind of in la land. Yeah, look at market did nothing last Monday. And then the bonds had the gap and then they ran and then that set the stage there. So in a weird way, I'd kind of ignore equities today. As weird as that may sound. Obviously, keep in mind the front run, all those things. 3M and airlines on the low. But it is, as long as the bonds are running, dollar and other things, this makes more sense for the Fed. Remember, equities are just going to get cushion, and they already have cushion. So keep that in mind. Again, airlines, UAL, DAL, LUV, and then Nvidia and Qubits on the high. SPY bouncing a little there. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Bro, you can't say that. You don't know they put a warning on that now? So when you try to watch Rush Hour, they give you a warning and they say the film was filmed at a time where things may have been considered insensitive or whatever. It gives you a warning for Rush Hour. I think it's funny because then, and like they're like, it's racist. But if I told my dad Rush Hour, you would watch my foreign ass dad. He'd be like, do you know the words that are coming out of my mouth? It's the funniest thing ever. So yeah, I was like, the irony is that my dad loves that line. That's one of my dad's favorite movie quotes. It's even funnier when he says it. Because I'm like, I do not understand the words coming out of your mouth, sir. Actually. Yeah, China, based on mutual respect, agrees to TikTok framework after assessment. TikTok framework is good for both parties. So let's see. It sounds like we're going to start getting the good news now. Oh, this is the week of September 19th, huh? Sky T. Nah, I see a play. I like it, but I don't. Nothing hit as much today. So usually by the morning I'll have a couple, but not today. Just some profit sales. And then I took a break even on Rumble. That sucked. China. Okay. Yeah, Euro in 1 minute. Arcel, they had something this morning. I think Arcel was on the list, but that's tweaking out right now. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to listen to the China thing, but that's the other part. Still going on. I've heard a couple of headlines already. China. China. What about the mortgage companies? I mean, that ties into it, but you are running out of time with those questions. So like I'm saying, I'm like last week, I only made 2 videos. So I was busy, but it lined up and it made sense. So like I'm telling you, like last week, we were talking 5 days in a row of these types of plays. So there's some premiums that are lower. You just got to be a little bit more cautious as you hunt, but anything related to rates, mortgages, real estate, again, small caps, biotechs, these are what benefit off of rate cuts, and again, why the Russell and other things have done that. So I told you this. That's what I've been saying. Like, I want you guys ahead. I don't want you to fall behind, and then I don't want you to take front run plays after they've been front run. Just like Adobe, people were playing Adobe right before earnings, and they're like, it sucks. I'm like, I made 300% on both sides just by being early on it. So I think your idea is correct. You just got to make sure you really search the premiums, and if you're buying a front run play that's like more expensive, like a lot more than what it was on Monday, I don't know how I feel about that, because you had the opportunity, but then the higher you pay, the more likely you're not going to make money on the play, because now you're paying a higher future rate. You see, the market has the same idea, but if you're reacting to it later, you're paying for it. Whereas like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week, those are good times to, it wasn't until like Thursday, Friday, the premiums went crazy, even though the stocks did. So I like the idea. You should understand and comprehend, what's going to happen here on Wednesday and what could be affected, but it is, it's not, what's the word? Oh, I just blanked. EL has done that 2 times, 4%. Is there a way to track past prices? You could put it on a chart. I got old tutorials on that. Just send to chart on TOS or link the charts on E-Trade. Yeah, SPY coming in. Whenever Pony started moving. Pony AI. Ups. Oh yeah, UPS. Chipotle, bro. I don't know, man. It sucks. Like I told you guys, every time I've been eating Chipotle lately, I'm like, damn, I actually eat Chipotle. It's a solid option. I really like it, man. The discount and everything, but my problem is like Chipotle is well above its peers. You got to realize, like, being that successful, there's a reason why Chipotle was so poppin', and it really is like you're paying still a huge forward valuation. So, but I don't know. I like it, man. Yeah, I think I go at least once a month, I would say. But my question is this: 10 years though, because remember when I was telling you guys about McDonald's, and I was like, dude, if you really think about it, McDonald's was popping for like 20, 30 years before most of us were even born. So like by the time you were born, McDonald's probably was already popular for decades. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I was saying Chipotle is kind of new. It's been around for well over a decade, and now it's, you know, reaching that place. Ethereum dumping. But then my question is, like, you know, is the next generation, will Chipotle be like, will it be as a staple to them like McDonald's? Will like this Americanized Mexican food and this setup, will this last another 2 generations with the same popularity? I think I'll be eating it, but I want to know it, because if it has that, it's a gem, bro. That's why I'm like, because like it's the only thing that's ever been like McDonald's. McDonald's has been the only one that had that level of like intense popularity, growth, all of it. That's why when Chipotle started looking like McDonald's, it has the high valuation, because not too many restaurant companies grow that big and then stay that big. That just doesn't happen. So yeah, I don't think they own the real estate as much. No, they own some of it, but not to the same degree. I like Starbucks too. That one, we need to get it at a lower price for the year, because it has been lower. I don't like Starbucks at lower prices. Starbucks solid. I think Panda Express is public. It's owned by one of those brands. Yeah, Wing. I love Wing, but Wing is just too. Wing is a great company. You just need to buy Wing at the low. It sucks because it may not come down too much and it'll keep there, but you don't want to get caught up at the force. But anything in the low price on Wing, solid ass business. But yeah, so I don't know. Little by little, Chipotle is the one, but then we have pizza. We have Papa John's. I don't really want too many food in my portfolio. It's necessary. Otherwise, I want McDonald's. Yeah, Cole owns a lot of real estate, but they have more debt than real estate, so it doesn't even matter. That's the sad part. But yeah, Chipotle has been, it's been capturing my attention. But this is one of those like CRM or Apple. Do you guys understand? This isn't a deal. Your only deal is it can go down to $20. In the worst case scenario, I think it could easily go down to 20, 15 bucks. So, but it just reminds me of like an Apple or a CRM, where it's like it's down on the year by a substantial margin, but then it's still like elevated, and it trades at still one of the highest PEs compared to anything. Yeah, still at a 34 PE. Still pretty big. Higher than McDonald's. Who else? Yum is 29. QSR 24. So yeah, there's still a premium in terms of what's already priced in there. Oh, and push-up time. Woo! Let's do it, man. We're 5 minutes behind. Stand up. Stand up. So yeah, chat. We've been here for 2.5 hours. 4.5 hours left to go. Sitting is the new smoking. You gotta move, baby. You gotta move. Oh shit. They jacked those up, huh? Can't wait for Philum. We got what? Hour and a half? So not bad. It's kind of crazy. 8:30 doesn't seem like it seems super early. 10 seems like in the middle of the day, but it's only an hour and a half away. And then we haven't done much. Again, I think it's going to be a nice little remix of what you had last week. And sure enough, Wall Street's looking well ahead to Wednesday. And I think you should be too. For your own sake, brother. All right, man. Stand up. Move the body. Do we have propaganda? CN. You're new. You love the Philos. That's awesome, bro. I'm really glad, man. You have no idea. We've had interesting reactions to Philo, but overall, I mean, I think this year was a little weird at first for some people, but I don't regret any of the changes I made. I think they were actually timed very extremely well. So if Philo vibes with you, bro, use it. I definitely would. And at the same time, too, like I just told everybody, I do want you to have good things, and I do actually care about your soul and real happiness and all of that. And that's why, like, I want to make sure you all walk away with something, not just ideas and a free mind, and no fear is a great thing to walk away with, and you all should at minimum. But I also want to make sure you all have a long term. So do it, man. And if Philo vibes with you, the long term, Philo and long term go hand in hand. So save, plan, show your faith for the future, bro. Oh man, it's awesome. The debt isn't the problem. So if you have a dividend stock and you want to know whether or not the dividend is like gonna get cut, you want to go and look for the payout ratio. That's what's gonna let you know whether or not because you could have a lot of debt, but if you make a lot of cash and you could pay the dividend, nothing's gonna change. But essentially, if you have a lot or a little bit amount of debt, but then you're not making the cash and then you're paying more of your dividends out than you make in money, that's just not sustainable. So dividend payout ratio. So like, yeah, Wendy's, their payout ratio is at 92.89. Last quarter, it was at 106. Actually, from 24 till 25, their payout ratio is over 100%, about 101 to 106. So not last quarter, but the quarter before that, Wendy's paid out 106% of their profit through the dividend, essentially. So they paid 6% more than they paid to their shareholders. They didn't make enough money to cover the dividend. So they still pay it, but eventually if they don't make enough money or they don't lower the debt or other things, the higher that payout ratio, the more likely they're gonna cut the dividend. That's what we've been saying with UPS, because I like UPS a lot. I just think it has another 10% because they're probably gonna cut the dividend. But if they don't, then everybody would win still. But yeah, UPS is 97. Some of you said it's at 80, so we've kind of had debates about that. But then in 2023, their payout ratio was 64. So that's what happened with UPS. You see what I'm saying? So like up until 2023, so like up until this year, like right around here, they were only paying half of their profits out to the dividend. But then their business slows down, right? They start spending more money and making less. Now they're spending 97% of their profit goes to the dividend. In 2023, it was half. So half of their money they'd make would pay the dividend, the rest they got to keep. Now 97% of the money goes just to pay the dividend. That's it. Oh, AMT. So they have they have a conference event coming up, and they're tied to the front run. Am I worried about the unknown increase to electric and home insurance? No, I mean, you can't really do anything about it. I've experienced it. So that's why I just, you just roll with the punches. Warren and Holly write to Bezos about Amazon scheduling practices. Hey, why don't you guys write to Bezos about the Twitch streamers that get magazine articles and the Twitch CEO invites over and celebrates their birthday? And then every single day they go online telling people to murder people. How about that, Elizabeth Warren? Write to Jeff Bezos to get rid of the streamers who all are radicalists. How about it? So other than that, I think Elizabeth Warren is a demon. This lady. Yeah, man. People were posting on it, bro. It's crazy. So, like, I've heard of that Hassan kid when they were trying to, during Camelot, they were like, he's the new... I'm like, shut the fuck up. But, dude, it's crazy. Look, this one guy's been documenting it, bro. So this is a streamer on Twitch that the CEO of Twitch, like, promotes, does all these things. And this guy literally, the shit he says about, like, violence is unreal. Again, remember, I got banned on Twitch for showing you guys news once, and then one of the little Reddit liberal guys in the Twitch chat was like, you're not allowed to show that, and then he got me banned, and then I stopped streaming. I said, fuck you guys. It's literally, bro, it's ridiculous. So, bro, I've been banned on Twitch multiple times. I've been banned on YouTube multiple times. I even said, I was like, bro, at the times where, like, I even could have, I'm only radical with my Jesus shit. Let's be real. I have never advocated violence. I've always told you guys to be a certain way. And it's just sad because I'm like, bro, I've been punished a lot. I don't care about that. Really don't give a shit about what's been done to me, as much as I'm just like, it highlights this point that there's people working at these companies, man, and it distorts the incentives so fucking bad. And then they're not, like, dude, they're literally, they will let you promote violence if they agree with it. Like, real shit, bro. It's actually nuts. Here, where is it? I'll find the tweet, because this guy, he has all of them. He was showing, I read these, like, direct quotes, and then they have clips of these streamers. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Let me see. Yeah, so here's just one. Go to this guy's Twitter. Go to Grums. I retweeted one of them, and he won't stop about it. The more I see it, I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, literally. So these are direct quotes where he says, you need to show your opponent's guts and gut them. Slice them up and dice them. Let the streak soak in red capitalist blood, dude. Kill so-and-so. Someone has to do it in regards. These are said almost daily. That's what I'm saying. I didn't realize that. I'm like, y'all got me walking on eggshells and have literally got me banned from the same platform. I got banned for showing news, literally information as it was coming out. And you have people running multi-hour streams telling others to kill people. And we all know on the internet, you should be very well aware that there's a small portion of your audience that's probably going to be loony. So, yeah, bro. Kind of crazy. But then again, this is that whole radicalization I was saying. Like, now everyone's turning to cancel culture. That's what sucks about it. Because it's like, we should all just not have been canceled. But now it's turning into this little weird game back and forth. But that's just... I think the problem people are realizing is that it's not, I don't even think it's that big of companies. Like, think about Google this year. You guys saw me go against Google, and we won. They removed all my strikes. They removed everything. Because I think Google realized that it was a small portion of people working within that allow these behaviors to happen. So that's it. You just get loved by that guy's getting loved by the CEO and the people who work at Twitch. He won't get banned. That's it. But if somebody if some worker at YouTube, Twitch doesn't like you or agree, they could fuck with you a lot before higher management would ever notice, essentially. It's crazy. But that's what this kind of highlights more and more. Colgate introducing new packaging for toothpaste. for products containing fluoride. J&J, Josh Brown. And Nvidia and AMD. And QLD? Is that the Qs? Yeah, VRT, more infrastructure, and you're still up, but now tech is moving a lot more. Oh, wait, dude, I didn't even play the propaganda. I need to do a push-up. I don't know if you guys want... Did you see this one? I'll show you this one then. Wait, let me see if the propaganda's on.
Unused...
Okay, I'll give you propaganda
to customers
instead.
through early 2032.
Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity.
As you can see, up
I'll leave it unmuted. I just need a stretch.
Incredible momentum on that core-weight stock. Up next, with big hits and big dollars, the streamers dominating the Emmys last night. We'll look at the numbers. Plus, get to the outlook for possible consolidation in the space.
All right, I'll show you this then. And yeah, bro, this is just sad. I don't think you guys are gonna want to see this. I saw this and I gasped. And I said, wow. So, I don't know, man. That's why I said you guys are important. You know that? All of you moms and dads, you guys, do you realize it's like you guys are the ones that hold the keys? Like, just don't forget. Don't forget. But my mom will disagree because she's like, I don't know. My daughter liberal. What? Look at this.
I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news.
The vice president died?
Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no. Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
Which one is it?
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged!
Yeah, bro.
I have the best news
Bro,
ever.
you have little kids and you're teaching them to celebrate death. And then you replace it with pop culture, that's just so weird, bro. So I don't know. Like I don't know. You guys always ask me if I have kids. So look around. You know, I'm glad to a certain degree because, like I said, my whole mission is for me and God, and that way you're not gonna. I'd feel bad to put that responsibility on others, but like, dude, I would never want to fuck up in like. If my kids came out thinking the wrong, it's crazy, bro. Oh, here's another clip. Let me show you. I would play this, but I'll probably get banned if I play it. That's the funny part. I want to play you a clip of Hassan, but if I play what he says, I'll probably be the one who gets banned. Why? Because that's what's happened to me 2 other times. So, yeah. Remember, I tried to show you guys a Mr. Beast video, and I got banned for playing a video of what Mr. Beast said. I didn't say a word. I got one of the strikes for what Mr. Beast said by showing his old video. But yeah, let me finish these push-ups. They propaganda me. Nice.
And how does he get there?
Look, the president is a very ambitious, aim-high guy. He is absolutely committed to lowering energy prices in the United States. We've seen that in gasoline, in diesel, and oil products. We're seeing screaming increase in U.S. natural gas production and prices there as well, not rising at all. Electricity grid's harder. It's just long time frames. Long time frames change that whole system cost. But if you look at it on a micro scale, the president is ready to permit, and we are permitting immediately, electric generating capacity that will be less than half the cost of the stuff that was built under the Biden administration. So are we adding new capacity on the grid that's less than half the cost of the Biden administration? Absolutely. The president's adamant about that. For that to filter in, for the whole grid cost to come down meaningfully, that'll take some time. But rest assured, we're driving as hard and fast as we can.
Secretary Wright, you've been driving hard and fast when it comes to, well, updating, it feels like, the Department of Energy's view on what to use when it comes to energy sources. And in particular, I'm thinking about the thought leadership. Back in July, you put forward what was a report. It was deemed about the threat of climate change and said basically it's exaggerated. Now, that working group has been disbanded. Many have been critical of some of the findings. Do you just still stand by those findings that were ultimately saying a lot of the, well, climate views were wrong about the speed at which the globe is getting hotter, at least?
Actually, no dispute at all about temperature and sea level data. What we did was just popularize the data that the climate alarmists and the politicians don't want to popularize. 90% of what's in our climate report is in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports. I've been studying this issue for 20 years, so quite familiar with it. 5 fantastic scientists produced that report. And of course, environmental groups that don't want an honest, fact-based dialogue about climate change sued over a silly procedural thing about the paperwork for one of the 5. And instead of fighting this in court, the climate scientists, I'm sure they'll still respond to the questions. We've opened a real dialogue about climate change, and that's exactly what we wanted to do. And I couldn't be happier about it. It's funny, I go on more and more shows talking about climate change, and no one wants to ask me any questions about climate change.
Well, I'll keep asking you if you don't. I'll ask you because why did your department undertake it in such a way? It seemed that the study wasn't following usual procedures like the OMB's guidelines on science reports.
No, this is when you publish a technical paper. When you publish the paper, that's when the dialogue starts. We wanted to publish. This was from no scientists at DOE, although we did do peer review at DOE. These are 5 independent scientists that we said, please write a report that just sort of summarizes the big picture about climate change so we can publish it, open it up for public comment. And we've got tons of comments. Now, lots of them are silly, but what you can see from the substance of the comments we've received is there's very little disagreement with the data we published on temperature data, sea level data, and models. People are complaining around the edges, or mostly complaining around, yeah, but the future might be different. That's true. We don't know the future, but I heard 20 years ago the future might be different. We're just publishing the real data on sea level rise, on temperature increases, on the effects of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which makes the planet greener, a little bit wetter. Climate change is a real thing, but it's just been so wildly exaggerated and misrepresented. And it's made the climate scientists that go on TV only the most dramatic, alarmist ones that make TV news. Most of the honest, sober ones are in the background. We're bringing them to the forefront.
U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright, currently in Vienna but continuing through Europe. Thank you very much for joining us on Bloomberg Tech. Just a quick update. Nvidia shares have swung from a pretty notable decline to positive territory. You remember the story broke this morning that China's market regulator had said that Nvidia violated anti-monopoly.
You guys don't remember in like 2022, 23, and I was like, I can't believe they tricked all of you guys into buying EVs. I knew it was real when I started talking to like 18 and 20-year-olds and like 16-year-olds who were just getting their first car. And then they were just like, yeah, I want an EV. I'm like, what? So yeah, but that whole ESG stuff, I'm glad the ESG scam went away, but people made a lot of money on it, as we were saying in the moment. That ESG thing was nuts. But yeah, man, I hope y'all doing good. I hope you did some push-ups there. I needed that. Still want to stretch a little bit more. Oh, I need to do the toe thing. That's the one I forgot. So I do got something to do. I know. Well, that's the thing. The poly market and the Kalshi, you guys, I can't believe it. My girl was watching her little like lawyer TV show, and this came up, and I posted it. But like, there's nothing new under the sun, my friends. Look at this clip. This is from 2011.
Isabella's case made betwhatever.net.
What's that?
It's an offshore betting website.
You can bet on anything. Oscars, elections, death pools.
What's your point?
Yeah, elections, deaths. Yeah, betwhatever.net. So in 2011, this would be in like TV shows. This was Poly Market. This was Kalshi. The problem, society at the time, we just didn't accept it. Yeah, there you go. Nothing new under the sun. Isn't that crazy? A gold still. A lot of gold. Remember, there's a gold mining events happening. Ooh. From Michigan. Damn, bro. That's how long are you gonna be out there for? That's dope. That's really dope. Good change of pace from Miami. Octa charter on the low. And SPY hasn't really moved out of this euro close range. Days. Michigan's, it's nice to visit. Just that's it. Stay out of trouble. Go to the lakes. Yeah, Michigan. I've heard good things. I mean, I know a lot of people who still live there. Our salt-free beaches. One more set. Still more gold, bro. Yeah, there's like an America mining forum. I'm just gonna go to class in the gym. Definitely, bro. I feel schedule. Go see something or try some food around there. That's a cool part about if you ever have to like travel for work. It's always good to see new places. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to like fucking spend 12 hours walking in the park. You know, try the good hometown dish over there and call it a day. What's like the food of Michigan? What do you guys like? If I wanted to go to Michigan and get food, what should I get? What's like the spot? There has to be like, oh, you have to try this. Like San Diego, I think you all have to try Taco Shop. Like the moment you get into San Diego, or Taco Stand. It's called Taco Stand. That's like an easy one. Just tacos, San Diego, and it's fire. Walleye, pronto pups. Wet burritos were invented in Grand Rapids? What do you mean wet burritos? Excuse me? Like with like sour cream? We invented Dude, in San Diego or Cali, we invented the California burrito. Do you guys know what a California burrito is? My girlfriend didn't know. I had to explain it to her. I was like, this is history. The Cali burrito. Do you guys know what a California burrito is? You have a hit of Coney Island? You guys are like, what's a wet burrito? Yeah, you put fries in the burger. So you put French fries in like a carne asada burrito, and that's a California burrito. Just fries in the burrito. Yeah, I didn't realize that was a Cali thing because I did try to order it once outside of Cali, and they were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "Just put fries in it, dog. It's not that. No California." That's a SoCal thing? Yeah. I don't know if they have sometimes in the Bay they have them, but not everywhere. It's a burrito with queso on top. That's a wet burrito? That sounds good. Are we doing it, chat? You're all about to get real hungry if we keep these conversations up. I'm just telling you now, man. I know where this is leading to. Your stomach will be grumbling very, very soon. Yeah, TLT even to the high. I think TLT is going to keep going. It'll eventually stop at one of these, but it feels like last Monday. But it's all about the bonds. Like I'm telling you, even 100 points, you're back to Wednesday. you're looking to buy your first home, you want to pull 15K out, cover the down payment plus close. How do you think about which positions to sell? So I just sold my long term for a property, and I think you're aware, but you're gonna have to go back. It was like June 16th, June 17th, I think like June 10th. That's why I did it live for everybody, so that they would know how to go about it. You prioritize. You have to be in escrow. So if you're not in escrow, you're already fucking up, not listening. But then you got to go. You start with the taxes, just like I showed. You go with your losses. Go with the tax strategy that would get you at a good realized gain, and then you got to pick from there. But it all depends on your deal, and then again how you're if you're actually in escrow or not. Ovid, yeah, USO on the low, no fucking way. Yeah, oil flipping, it's still green on the day, but that was up all day. Poutine. Yeah, bro, we're gonna get hungry. You got an analyst interview. Does that make you a suit that you've grown to dislike? Not at all. You're going to have that moment when the stock is up or down, and then you lie about what you feel because you don't want to get left behind. That's when you will become what you didn't want to be. But right now, you're actually doing exactly what you wanted to be. You see? It's all about your behavior. Some people fail to get this one, you know, but yeah, it's what you do. A suit or occupation doesn't really make you anything, but what you do in that occupation or suit will. Charlie, is that's why Rumble moved up. Yeah. When is a cash out refi worth it? When you're not gambling, when it's just like a home run deal. So just like the covered calls, just remember rates are high. It'll be better. We'll see what happens after Wednesday and then the path forward with interest rates. And if interest rates come down a lot, and you know, you're going to need more than one cut, and the path and the long end actually go down, it may be a better time to start cash out refinancing or do any refinancing. But for right now, I mean, generally interest rates are still pretty high. I would just use your house as a piggy bank until there's a smoking deal. But I've seen a lot of people get crushed in the last 3 years by having a good deal, having a good property. They made one good move, and then they would go and start and pull out the cash and be like, I want to buy another one. And then they did that at high interest with high prices and how everything is. And fast forward, you know, about a year, sometimes a little less, they now have to sell both. So now they have to give up a 2% interest. They already did it with the refi, and then now it just doesn't work because it's hard to make money at high rates on high amounts. So just keep in mind, you know, you have to be able to, you have a certain amount that you're going to need to recoup. So if you're borrowing at 9%, and then that borrowing at, you raise your current interest rate to pull out the cash, then you use that money as a down payment to take on another high interest loan. Most properties just don't make that much. That's what I'm saying. It's very, oh yeah, Meta's just launching. I don't know what happened. Pentagon has completed review of Hegseth use of Signal. But yeah, Meta is going insane right now. That's a $5 pop. Is Google too? I'm surprised the SPY's not moving more. Yeah, Google got a little stick too. Amazon a little, but it's mainly Meta and Google. You're borrowing at 10.75, yeah. So, good luck. But this is exactly why I'm going to have to start charging you guys for these consultations. Because I think some of you know the answer. And then when you have that conversation and tell me 10.75, yeah, you know the answer, brother. So go ahead. If you want to waste your money, you can. But if you want me to spend my time, you're going to have to pay me for that analysis. But the easy answer is no. But people don't like the easy one. McCormick. Is it? Well, yeah, I definitely think that's a troll question, but you know, I'm in a good mood. I think somebody's going to benefit off of it. So, just listen if you are. Just listen. Why'd you stop making Warzone 10.7? You have better thumbnails than me. I'm gonna watch your montage right now before I ban you. Okay, not bad.
Imagine choking that shit.
That's you? That's his voice? I don't know why you stopped.
You cannot kill me. Oh, you can shoot. What's that?
Alright, nice. Yeah, he stopped making them. Dope though, you got game, man. But yeah, you know the answer. So be wise, bro. Keep your money. But good luck. I forgot to save his username. Now, CVS and Cigna, again, a lot of health insurers they did this like 3 times today. 10% every month, but what's better? Buy every month or buy bigger every X months? Let your portfolio speak to you. You know, sometimes you just put it out there every month. Sometimes things are high. You're looking for something else and you could wait. So don't limit yourself. You don't have to stick to, I have to do it now or I don't. The goal is just make sure you're always saving. Make sure it's in that account ready to go. And again, what you already own, your first couple of months, that's going to outline your base. And then from there, you start making real decisions. But the first couple of moves aren't even going to really affect you as long as you stick with it. Just remember, you know, we're on like what, month number 60? So the first 5 or 6 months, that's like the early ones. So as long as you get to month 60 and don't give up and stick with it, then, you know, you'll be able to work your way around either all at once at a time. But point is, you'll get a feel for it, and you'll actually learn that in building it. I don't, dude, all the nuclear materials, minerals, they woke up good today. Cadence on the high. Is there such thing as a long-term option? I mean, forgive me, is there such thing as a loyal whore? Oh, sorry. So yeah, you guys, I'm not trying to stop you. So if you want to play with the flirtatious game of just not accepting what it is, be my guest. As I was asked, people get too like caught up with it. Like, believe me, guys, do whatever you would like. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you like. But, you know the answer. I think I am hilarious, and I'm very good at what I do. So, it's you know, all of this comes with success. So I hope you, you know, like I'm saying, bro, if you guys want to get 10.75% cash out refis, and then you want to buy long-term options to trick yourself that I don't mind. I'm just giving you an honest feedback of why it's unwise. So you do what you need to, but I'm not trying to like, this isn't a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm not saying prove me wrong, find a long-term option. No, I'm just, these are things you're gonna have to learn. You know, I learned a lot in my life business-wise, but I had to learn it on my own. I learned things that people told me, and then I learned things that people told me. I didn't listen. I would have to pay for it, and then I would do it. And then I understood. You know, just like the whole, like, the shitty stocks, all the pump and dumps, if you don't have real experience, you don't know what I'm saying. And then it's so slow and calming in a weird way that you won't realize it till it happens. That's what I'm saying. Go buy an option, treat it as a long-term. You're not going to notice anything bad right away. Do you understand? It may even work your first couple of times. But experience and knowledge, you're going to know when it doesn't work, and then you're going to see. But that's what I'm saying. You have to either have this experience or you don't. So there's one way to get it. It's either by going through it or by heeding the warning. So choose whichever you like. Balked. Oh, yeah. Damn, that's up. This thing always fades, but you are early. There's not any cheap options on this thing. They're all dog shit. So, yeah, balked. 8% though is not small. BSX on the low too. And my tad. The options on Bach are terrible. Everything. Fitch Ratings U.S. chips intervention may create inefficiencies in pressure margins. Huh? Are you talking about Intel? Or are you talking about China? Yeah, your boy won't go down. Chipotle. Chipotle. Oh. YQ Chipotle. You've never called it Chipotle? That's what my girl calls it, Chipotle. But like, she literally doesn't speak English, so. Ooh, MTW, Montauk. Big flush and pop back up. Could be tweaking. I don't know, but something's happening with that. Damn, Chipotle breakfast? I feel, what would that be? Like breakfast burrito? I'd actually go hard. Dog, if you could get like a fucking, what's it called? A chorizo from Chipotle? Stop. There's so much traffic, our live counters can't keep up. That was the one I took a, what's it called? I took break even on that one. They're literally the same exact price. I could get right back into them. But yeah, so JD Vance is going to go live on Rumble today. Yeah, wholesaling's a great avenue. I think wholesaling is great for every deal you don't do yourself. But yeah, I wholesale a couple properties every year. Any property I find and secure a deal on, if I end up not buying the house and I don't want to take on the work, I just wholesale it. Is it live right now? He's there? And then let me just, again, from Friday, if we do listen to anything related to Charlie Kirk, like I told some of you guys, I encourage you to use wisdom. I'm not encouraging you to like somebody you didn't like. I'm not telling you what to feel. I think that's inappropriate, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to tolerate foolishness. And if you want to look like a fool and you want to, you know, use this moment to promote something else except for like true respect and mourning, which is why people are listening, I don't stand for that. So just keep it as a reminder. Like I said, there's a right time for everything. And whether you disagree with the man or whatever, I just don't think today is the time. And that's what it was. And I think a lot of people just didn't understand that. So I'm not really mad at anybody. I mean, there's a lot of things that have gone on. So just in general, though, I think for how you all represent yourself, how you make others feel, but ultimately yourself and your own benefit, I would MTN on the high. Weren't they just down? But yeah, well, just timing. That's all. I think I said the other day, just we saw a lot of people. I'm like, I see what you guys are saying. I just think it's terrible timing. You know, that's like walking into those Boeing meetings and talking about, well, there's other people who die, and you know, it's just like some people don't want to hear that. It's very, very unwise, I would say. Just foolish, to be honest. I wouldn't even call it unwise. I would say it's foolish. And then it links to fortune. That's why I'm saying that verse I read you, I don't think it's a coincidence. So don't be a fool. You don't have to be anything else. You see what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to be sympathetic. I'm not telling you to be nice. Just don't be a fool. Okay? And you have class with how you behave. So I would love to see the highest possible.
This is how I achieved long-lasting weight loss without crazy diets. I can't believe I'm saying this, but my husband and I finally got rid of our stubborn belly fat.
This is
for
an AI
good.
app.
We tried everything,
it's just
every
a video
diet,
with
every
AI
workout.
audio.
Anyone who doesn't treat ear ringing
Jeez,
is
bro.
gambling their health.
I know this might sound a little crazy, but
These
if you
ads
got
are
that,
terrible.
You're a friend of Charlie's, and one of the things I'm hoping that people.
Jeez, Rumble. Yeah.
I've known Charlie for 10 years. He was a treasured friend. And, you know, this is going to sound, he made you believe more in yourself. is the best way I can put that.
That's right.
Yeah, wholesaling, you get the contract signed and then you sell it to the buyer.
He would, if I was working on a hard project, an important executive order, a major new initiative,
it's really
he would
lagging.
give me the strength and the focus to get it done.
That's right.
He was everybody's supporter, enthusiast, cheerleader, promoter. He made all of us better every single day. You know, the memory that I keep.
This is Stephen Miller. Watching Stephen Miller try to display emotions is pretty. I don't think this guy is good at it.
Election, and Charlie was in the campaign.
He's always so serious. I've never heard him talk non-serious.
And from dawn till dusk.
It sounds the same, but he does sound a little
to get
different.
into the weeds, the nitty-gritty of government. And he was so damn excited. I mean, it really
you can't
hurts
see the
to think
video
about it right now. He was so excited about all of us being here. And we would be talking about every executive order, every new regulation, every new policy plan. It was such a thrill for me to get to spend a few months of my life, because, you know, he came from the nonprofit, the activist world. I came from the government world. And in this transition, to be able to work hand in hand, take all of his ideas from being the leader of TPUSA, spending time with college students, spending time with activists, and then be able to be with us at the transition to plan out the next step of our government. That was an experience for which I will always be grateful. And the last thing I'll say is that, to my earlier point, Charlie would send me messages all the time, just saying, you know, great work, or here's a new idea, or here's what I think will take this to the next level. And I took them all to heart. And God, I just love the man so much.
He was our biggest supporter, Stephen, but he was also, if he disagreed, he would figure out how to get us to get where he wanted us to go.
Yes.
Always such a big cheerleader. Absolutely right.
They don't know how to podcast in the White House.
Charlie, who was on the phone, saying, "Don't let him get to you. Keep on fighting. Keep on going.
JD,
You're absolutely
you're young.
right." So I want to be mindful of time here. A lot of people are very worried about how we got here in the first place. And you have the crazies on the far left who are saying, oh, Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance, they're going to go after constitutionally protected speech. No, we're going to go after the NGO network that foments, facilitates, and engages in violence. That's not okay. Violence is not okay in our system, and we want to make it less likely that that happens. Walk me through, at a high level, like what you and I have been working on, what the whole administration has been working on to try to make sure that we don't reward and promote this craziness.
So it's an excellent question. I've said this before, and but it bears repeating. The last message that Charlie sent me was, I think it was just the day before we lost him, which is that we need to have an organized strategy to go after the left-wing organizations that are promoting violence in this country. And I will write those words onto my heart and I will carry them out. If people ask me, what emotions I'm feeling right now, it's just something people say. I mean, you kind of know the answer. There's incredible sadness, but there's incredible anger. And the thing about anger is that unfocused anger or blind rage is not a productive emotion.
Right.
But focused anger, righteous anger, directed for a just cause is one of the most important agents of change in human history.
Charlie showed that. Amen.
And we are going to channel all of the anger that we have over the organized campaign that led to this assassination to uproot and dismantle these terrorist networks. So let me explain a little bit what that means. So,
I've got 30 seconds, so be quick, Stephen.
The organized doxing campaigns, the organized riots, the organized street violence, the organized campaigns of dehumanization, vilification, posting people's addresses, combining that with messaging that's designed to trigger and incite violence, and the actual organized cells that carry out and facilitate the violence, it is a vast domestic terror movement. And with God as my witness, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again for the American people. It will happen, and we will do it in Charlie's name.
Thank you, Stephen. Don't go away. I'll be joined by a guest of Friends just in a few seconds. See you soon.
Oh, they're not doing the radio thing where they come. They don't know how to handle it. I think JD and Steven are. That's it. That's weird though. That means they have the streaming key. Because I didn't think about it. Last time they did the Charlie Kirk show, it was, remember the one on Friday? That was at their studio. That was with all the producers. So this is streaming from, that's why they probably did it on his Rumble. So they just gave the president the streaming key, or JD. And then, yeah, because then that's set up. That's at the White House. So I don't know. Oh, wait, do they play his old clips?
Military. I would rather have somebody that doesn't...
Bro, I've seen so many Charlie clips, Kirk clips in the last like 48 hours. I get very sad by them. It's not even like sad. I'm just like, dude, I can't believe it. Still. And then, dude, I don't know if you guys hear it. I've learned a little bit more actually by all of this. Hold on, I'm gonna tweet at Hassan and call him a Nepo baby terrorist. Hold on. Let me see that. Hold on. You radicalize weirdos and you know it. Okay, sorry. But yeah. I don't think these people are really popular. That's the problem. It's really opened my eyes a lot more. But after this whole thing, bro, after realizing how many little like silent cells work within these companies, it's not even everything's fake. You don't even know who's really popular and really got demand. It's just whoever survived the banning waves. Let's be real. So nobody really like, I don't know how to describe it, but I just don't think anything's like real. Like you only have certain metrics of like real objective impact. But I'm telling you, there's just no, because even if you spent a lot of money, if you have people on, like I'm saying, if you have the CEO letting you not get banned and doing all these things, you're able to break every single rule and then get hooked up for it. Meanwhile, you could just have terrible content, and that means nothing about the value of it. So it's been like that for some time, but now I think it's gotten to a point where it's probably deeper and worse than you could have ever imagined. That's so. But here's the deal. This is what I learned over the weekend, because I got to talk with like older people, including my mom. But yeah, I don't like all of this. I told you guys on Friday, I'm like, everybody lost. Republican, Democrat, this affects everybody's freedom. Everybody feels a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's everyone's going to feel a certain level of unsafety no matter what now. There's no going back, especially when you look at it. And I told you, unfortunately, like this is going to radicalize both sides. And I just see it in the behavior of people already. We were laughing, but I'm like, dude, it's kind of scary. You got Republicans acting like Democrats now. They're willing to cancel people, follow them around. They're acting the same way. But here's the thing is like, I've talked to younger people, and younger people have actually, like everybody in the middle, age-wise, they're like chill. They're like, they all have like obviously you get your weird people who are overjoyed by the death. Then you have the people who are like really saddened. But then there's people who are like, yeah, it's sad and it shocked them and it's both like normal and not, you know? But here's the thing. It's the older people getting radicalized. That's what I've noticed. The people that I talk to who are older, this is bothering them a lot more. I think the middle generations are a little desensitized, but I'm telling you, the older people on both sides are getting so radicalized. I'm watching even down to my mom. My mom did not like it. It's crazy. I've never seen my mom so bothered like lately, besides like COVID. That's what I'm telling you. And even my mom isn't nice about it. And then I talked to other older people. I've met people, like even people in my girl's family. Same thing. The older people, bro, are getting way more radicalized off this than not. And then vice versa. Some of my sister's like older friends, they're doubling down on the radicalization on the liberal side. So, yeah, I don't know. It's that's at least what I've noticed over the weekend, and that was a little surprising to me, because I figured like it was the young kids who are like quick to like talk shit and like celebrate and even be like, you know, war. But no, dude, this is not. I think the demographic above the age of 50 on both sides, I think this was the event that's moving them. Some of you are getting moved off of this and some people in the middle, but I'm telling you, the older demographics, that's who's getting fucked up by this. Those are the people who are getting pushed into motion. It's the older people, as odd as that may sound. At least that's my opinion for now. Nvidia spokes will continue to cooperate with reliant government agencies. Value the impact.
Personality, or Charlie the celebrity, or Charlie the guy who did debates on college campuses. I want to start with you, Taylor. What's something that you wish people knew about Charlie that they don't if they just watch his clips on X or YouTube or wherever?
With Charlie, what you see is what you get, and I think that was true even from my first interactions with him on 2020 presidential campaign. We'd always be doing these fundraisers. Don Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, who was the Trump Victory Finance Chair, would host these big fundraising events. Charlie was always the first one to show up, and we would do these team events where we make calls all day. And you'd always want Charlie on your team because the guy would get there first, make as many calls, and he was the best fundraiser that we had. But, you know, we have not just the privilege of being Charlie's.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if you guys realize, because older people who are actually old, like who have lived through the 80s and even the 90s, but really the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s, they all disagree with political violence because they lived through it. They know what it's like because there was political violence, bro. They used to hijack the Olympics, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know political violence. They lived through it. That's why both sides, Republican and Democrat, they're very opposed to political violence because parts of their life and youth were filled with it. It's a very different environment. That's what I was trying to tell you guys within minutes of that event happening.
With the country, maybe that there's a way to get involved that's not the big rallies, that's not, you know, standing in lines for a long time, but and for my sister, it was for a conference room of girls listening to Taylor Swift music during breaks and kind of having approachable, but then also talking about life, talking about family, talking about, you know, at this event, you know, just relationships, and starting to build a path for young people that is both approachable but informed and thoughtful. And so for me, it was an ability and an opportunity for me to share with my sister something that I get to experience all the time. And I think it was something that she really appreciated, and I know millions of young people are appreciating, and by the looks of the signups are pretty good, and they're going to appreciate it a lot more.
We'll talk about that, Andrew. So it sounds like there's been this blowout of interest in Turning Points USA and the mission. You know, one of the things I really hope is that this assassin didn't silence Charlie's movement, and I think that's the best way for us to honor him, is to keep it going. You're one of the critical people at TPUSA. Tell us a little bit about Charlie, but also about what you've seen in the wake of Charlie's assassination.
You know, to put things in perspective, you know, there are, I guess, currently 900 official chapters of Turning Point on college campuses. And that's, you know, when you get at about 900, 920, give or take, kids graduate, you got to kind of rebuild.
Yo, that's the same dude? So yeah, he looks so much different. That was the same guy from Friday. Remember, he was wearing like a hat and shirt? He cleans up really nice. That's him, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why is this a different producer? I'm like, no, it's the same dude. This guy looks so different in a shirt and suit and tie. Holy shit. AAP and Dell on the high. Oh, man. Older generation can't uncover layers of lies, so they jump to the first story. No, so my brother, hear me, okay? For all of you, and any of you who think this way, you need to slow down, okay? Some of you guys sound fucking batshit, and you're playing with your mind. Listen to what I just told you. I just told you old people don't like political violence because they lived through it. You understand? This has nothing to do with the fucking Epstein list or... Again, I'm not bothered by it. You guys just sound like dumbasses. That's what I'm saying. I think you guys might be next to go cuckoo and snap, because that's not... You're thinking it the wrong way. It's very simple. I don't like eating food that gives me food poisoning. I ate eggs one day and it gave me food poisoning. I flinch every time. I taste it. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing. These old people have lived through something. It's not the deep facts, not Israel, no. Get off the fucking internet. They've just lived through it. That's it. It's violence. it's a negative reaction where they've already been through it. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. You guys, that's why I'm saying you've actually already lived through this. Nothing new under the sun. And that's why people of that demographic have been bothered, because they are the generation that got to it. You haven't experienced it. So as you're telling me people don't know deep layers, my brother, you don't know real violence. You don't know real danger. You don't know a real lack of comfort. They do. So that's why both sides are out of touch of something. They don't understand the certain meanings and stuff of today, but you also don't understand that shit. And here we are. So yeah, I'm saying I'm looking out for you guys, bro. I really want y'all to think about this in a very effective way that'll help you out and keep you right, and don't fall for these traps, bro. Like I'm saying, all of it's nonsense. It is. It's just
so important to do this.
Watch
and that
your
kind
mind.
of gave me this sense of, all right, my head's back in the game. And that was what Charlie was always good at, setting ridiculous objectives, but finding some way to motivate people to go after it, even though it was, it seemed unattainable until you got a little Charlie Kirk pep talk. Kaylin, what was your, what's the thing you missed the most about Charlie? What do you think is the most difficult part of replacing the great Charlie Kirk?
Well, I think, you mentioned him being everyone's best cheerleader, and the last time I saw him, I have a lot of peace in my heart because I had a very good interaction with him, as we always do. I was wandering the hallways of the EOB, and I must have had a horrible look on my face. And he literally, he jumped down the stairs, he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "What's going on?" I just mentioned, "Man, my baby's 6 months old. We are going through it. We are really, I'm struggling, man." And he sat there and he prayed for me in the halls of the EOB for quite a bit of time, and he didn't need to do that, right? It could have been a quick check-in. And I asked him, I said, "Dude, how do you do it? How are you doing it? You're killing it. You're a great dad. You guys are doing an amazing job at Turning Point. I think you're doing everything you can." And he looks at me and says, "I have a great team." And I laughed and I said, "Cool. So are you going to donate to the Kaylin Dorr Nanny Fund after this?" And he said, "No, that's not what I'm talking about. I have a great team." I said, "You and JD and everyone here in this building are part of the team. And I know that he would be very excited to see all the work that we have going on here in the administration, but also all the testimonials. I mean, I don't know how the guy had the bandwidth. The sheer volume of people whose lives he touched that we're just now discovering is out of control. And I think, growing up, we didn't have a Turning Point. We didn't have a Charlie. We didn't have these kind of people in our lives who dedicated and put in the blood, sweat, and tears to go make sure that this was a thing that existed for people like us. And the lasting message is that,
I'll tell you guys this too, though. But please pay attention. Nothing is new, you guys. The world has gone through crazy shit before, and the people who are doing well and living successfully now, they handled themselves properly during this time. Do you understand? The next 5-10 years, bro, you could go and become an internet propaganda nut job and play these games and get involved with everybody, or you could get rich as fuck at some of the biggest societal turning points and make sure you and your family are protected. What are you gonna do? Look around. That's what happened to people. You don't see it? There's some people who got really involved in their generations in the moments, and then there was the people who were living and involved, but they also executed in that moment to their advantage. That's what I'm trying to tell all of you now, where I wouldn't really that's why I'm trying to say your mind is important right now. I want all of you to do well, and you need to protect yourself, because if shit gets crazier and crazier, wilder and wilder, then the tech, and then Nvidia, all the AI, it's just bro, I don't want you fucking focused or brainwashed at the moment where that's gonna be where you're gonna do big things. Think about COVID. That's what happened in COVID too. That was a smaller scale. But even in the 80s, the 90s, these are opportunities, bro, where we could break away while everybody is fucking dicking around and it's nonsense. It's literally nonsense. You know it. You all know it. That's why you're like, why are we even talking about all this shit all the time? And all of that's welcome to social media. So I'm gonna do it, God willing. So you're either gonna do it too, but just be careful. Like I'm saying, your mind is what you need for this. And just like I'm saying, when that opportunity comes your way, what is in your mind? It reminds me of Trump coin. I made a fuck ton on that, and so did some of you guys. But at that moment, there was people, I had to fight my thoughts. I had to fight against my belief in Solana and all of that, but I got that fight over quick because there was opportunity. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want these things. Things are going to happen in society. Things are going to change, and it's going to lead to a great opportunity for you. But if you're not in the right mental space when that comes, you might miss it, and it will trap you into, or it will slow you down and keep you in a cycle that will perpetuate negativity. You guys don't understand. My cycle perpetuates positivity. You know why? You get freedom, you get God, you get money. That's it, bro. It's positive. You know why? Because you're not gonna want to hurt people. You're gonna be invested in the system. You're gonna be a part of it, and then you're gonna see a lot of these. So I don't want any of you stuck in a negative cycle. That's why the long term will help. The Jesus freeze in the long term, baby. That's it. It is a positive feed, and that's what I've noticed with anybody. That's what I'm saying. I've encountered some of you, bro, at a very dark time in your life, and some of you made sure I felt it. But at the end of the day, I praise the Lord, praise Jesus, to see where you guys are now and to see that feedback loop in work. I know it works. It's very simple. Because right now, some of you are in a very negative feedback loop. And that's okay, because I've been there. Everybody's been there. Let's be real, bro. Some people, they've been there most of their life. That's what's the beauty about the Chads. You got some older people in here who could testify and let you know that they did spend 15, 20 years in a negative loop, a negative cycle, believing the world, believing the things that say you can't do this, you can't do that. And now they realize it. You know what I'm saying? They genuinely realize it now, and they've realized even at the older part of their life, they still have that time to live it fully and to begin. Eli Lilly, bro, remember all these what's it called? All the Ozempic weight loss stuff. NVO up, Eli Lilly down. There could be something. Watch out for that. It did. Everybody, bro. Do you know how many people? You don't know what my weekend was? My whole weekend was people coming out of nowhere telling me to be careful because now they think I'm gonna die. You guys know that? You guys made my YouTubing is now the most dangerous profession in the world, apparently. Everybody was like, hey man, are you okay? Hey man, you gotta be really careful out there. Hey man, just checking in. So yeah, that was the first part, and then everybody about the Bible. A lot of people this weekend, bro. I got a lot of thank yous, and a lot of people just like, hey man, I don't know, how do I read this Bible? And like, I don't know what it is, Josh, but I want to do this. And it was insane. Good though, it is good. I've been telling you guys, and I don't know. I really hope my whole year, and like you guys have seen my behavior. You have seen how I operated with the tolerance and a lot of things, man. But I hope it's authentic, because now it's not like somebody died and I'm acting like this. I was acting like this all year. I said I just only want Jesus. I'm not going to tolerate liberal talking points. I don't care. I want people really about it and everything. And we have to do something good. I felt it even prior. I fucking even dreamed this shit. That's why I'm like, dude, you know, I really hope that all of you see how real it is. And that way you pick up the Bible, bro. Go follow the Lord. And like I'm saying, I think it hits a little harder when this is what I'm telling you prior to all of it, and I'm still telling you the answer, bro. It truly is. I've discovered a lot this year, and I think I'm on the precipice of a lot more discoveries. So, and God is good, and if that's his will. And I think all of you have a very big purpose too. But you know the answer, and it's the same one that we've had, and that's why, like, it's real, bro. Like, look around, even the world and all of that. You need to guard your mind, and thank God there's a defender. So it's all of it, though. It's good. It's good, and it's bittersweet, bro. It's very sad too, because like this is still shocking to a lot of people, shocking to myself as well, and I don't even think we've seen the half of it. Like I'm telling you, whether you downplay it or not, and whether you agree with me or not, that's totally fine. But what I personally believe is that big things are gonna happen. I don't know what, and it doesn't even mean it's ominous. I just know how big this ripple was. You drop a giant boulder in the ocean that's the size of a planet, a comet, it's gonna cause ripples. And that's what I'm expecting next. And I even said it too. I don't understand what happened. I don't like watching the death, and I don't know anything, bro. You believe me, God, whatever I know God has given me, and whatever I don't know, I'm grateful he didn't. Because at the end of the day, if God worked in Charlie's life, bro, so unreal, you have no idea. That God really did work in Charlie's life, took him everywhere, made a real difference. Charlie was one of the people who was willing to work in the politics. I know some of the things Charlie knows. I just never was willing to fucking organize and do an action committee. Charlie was one of those special people who would. Most of the people who do what Charlie did are fucking weirdos. And he kind of had a little bit of that weirdo in him because he was really down to do it all. But that's what, I don't know, man. He really, God used that man, and he did a lot. And that's why, for him to be taken out how he was taken out, and that's it, I can't understand it. But all I know is that means God really, I'm sure the timing, and if God already used him in his mission for that, that means God wants us all this time. This time is very special. And I think it says a lot, and the timing of all of it. And that's why it's like, just pay attention. That's what it is. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's good or bad. I know something's coming, but all I do know is pay the fuck attention right now. The timing of it is actually, it's timing. And that I don't like it. I don't like it because I know what it implies. It's a very big moment. I don't think it leads to anything crazy in the sense that it's not going to lead to the rapture, but I do think we are at a pivotal moment. And if that's what God allowed, then it says something at this time and at this moment, because a lot of us thought something else, and I thought it was going in a different direction. I had a general idea of where things were headed, but like I said, this says something. So pay attention. That's what I'm saying. Be on watch, be alert, be wise. This is the time for that. Anything else, I mean, God bless you. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of you will be like, yeah, his time was too short, and I think it is. I really do think his time was cut short. And, it's funny because even my mom like, no, that's not God, but God will work with it. Because my mom is really distraught by it. But like I've even told her, I'm like, I think it was the exact time. I think that means this time was destined for God. I don't think God was surprised, but I don't think God smiled at the murder. But it's like, dude, this timing of it is not, everybody needs to pay attention for the world. I'm not giving you a weird spiritual warning. I'm not telling you go buy a bunker. I'm just saying the timing of some of these world events, where we're with AI and tech and some of the other conversations, is just, you don't want the world to be all over and you not aware right now. And I think this is a moment where a lot of you can be, and you should pay attention. Oh, what? It's already 10? That's how you guys were getting it out of me. I was like, wait a minute, is it Philo? Yeah, let me set up the Philo. I told you guys, revival. But that's why it's like, man, it's sad somebody died. It really, especially Charlie, bro. You have no idea. And I know some of you don't like it, but all I'm saying is how this just went down, and if people understand that it's big. Okay. Well, I'll see. I'll talk a little bit more on it, but I think it's a good time to remind all of you, though, that as you all seek the Lord, and as you're like, wow, revival, 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 right? But let me tell you this, though. The same Jesus, the same Bible actually tells you that you are going to get persecuted. You know, people have brought up Charlie as many things, but I also think he was a living proof of persecution. They persecuted him, brother. We were just talking about it. I was telling you, I was like, you guys are like, you want to be all Jesus? Jesus said, can you drink from the cup? If the world really was not all meta and fucking internet and shit, then they're going to just start clapping Christians. You know that, right? So if you don't like that, then I would choose something else. But that's what the real belief is understanding. That's why I'm like, that's why all of this is so bittersweet and not surprising, but it is. But it's not. It's, what did you, he already prophesied this. This was already known. So, yeah, man, I really hope you make your choice. That's what it is. Make your decision. And that's the whole thing. I think Charlie was one of the first men who understood this. That's why he was the leader. And he was willing to in such a hard environment. So if you think you're going to run to Jesus to be protected, no, you're going to get persecuted. Just understand that. But if you understand it and get it, that's why I'm saying, that's why I may not agree with everything Charlie said, but I know where he stands on this, and I know what he did. And that's why I'm saying that he gets it. He understood it. I don't think he's missing anything, because he knew this. And I think even his family knows. I think that's why they're acting how they are now. So, yeah, just keep that in mind, because I know, yeah, it's eternity. This life means nothing, bro. It really doesn't. And I think I know this moment is shocking, and people seek Jesus and the Lord, but just remember, he is safe, and God is peace and love, but he is also persecution for the world. We've all seen it. That's what this example is. Have no fear and still rejoice. Amen. That's also my Lord. That's what he says. But just I want you all aware. And that's why, that's the contradiction of seeking religion during tough times, is that sometimes, though, especially the doctrine of Jesus Christ, it's safety and eternity, but not, it's actually enemy to the world. Look around. Oh. All right. Spy's coming down now too. Low ticker is actually pretty picked up. So, time to go to Philo though. As this is moving, if you want to listen to Jesus, you come. If you don't want to hear Jesus talk and get bothered, don't go. You know, very, very simple. So, have a good day if you want to be there. But market is reacting. I don't think we got Bank of England comments. We already had the China stuff, so I don't think anything until tomorrow. But I will see you there. If I don't, have a good rest of your day. And peace.